they have their full roster. I imagine they're going to still pull through, especially going into the second bi-weekly.
Now we're going to be going directly into Shipwreck, where OUG's Jinyu on that Tian High is going to be looking to loot on up so he can scale his ultimate. 2-tick, OA are the only team running traditional sand siphons. That's with the Tumult, Takeda, and Karumi, as everyone is going to be scrambling for those Fireflies up onto those cliffs. One has already been nabbed, and Jinyu is going to be very close to his ultimate off of the back of it. However, this early in the game, the Tian High does not pose as much as a threat as towards the late when he has legendary armor and legendary weapons to scale up the damage from those slams. We're gonna see a fight break out immediately. Zip has already had to burn that heal. Jinyu's already had to burn that combo breaker, but with those nunchucks, he is doing enough damage to build up the ultimate, and now we can see that OA, without that Temi ultimate, have to disengage cleanly because they don't have a way of blocking the grabs, and PP is already going to be slammed and dunked down, and with the Karumi missing, Sand Siphon now is deprived of its sustained value.
Excellent play by Jinyu, immediately getting that ult up. Both of these teams were contesting for the Fireflies, but it's very rare you see a Monk ult and execute completely, like instantly, getting that jump in to grab. Really, really interesting stuff for their off-spawn strategy. Now, Alliance, Yuma, NY7 Revenge, this is their comfort pick. These guys last year were absolute menaces on the Viper, on Knight Morris. These guys love attacking, but this year and near the end of last year, they showed a different side. They showed a little bit of restraint, a little bit of a slower side. Will they have that same aggression going in? JL, Wonfong. Now, I was definitely one of his biggest critics last year just because he was playing with the two greats, VVV and TXJ. But since VVV has been out, Wonfong has really stepped up with this Monk play, and he's been like one of the hard carries for JL from round to round. He's definitely stood out every single round, especially their MVPs.
Oh no. Oh, OA have run so far from Shipwreck and OUG that they've run directly into Alliance. And Raven, he talks about Alliance being a menace. They've now got a third party to be able to assassinate and look for a timing attack on too. And that's something that both these teams are going to have to be very aware of, hyper-focused to make sure that they don't get all in on by that Viper, as it is going to be all ultimates cut off now with the Forbidden Seal coming into play. No Syra V1, no Stun Dazzle chain, and absolutely no Matari ultimate to set up ZZT's chain combos off of the back of 3 resets on that Zyf too. This is falling apart for the Zyphon.
And the Vipers are just catching everyone off guard, off spawn, and just laying down the law. Now Alliance gonna find OUG. There was a 3v3v3 situation. Baby U on the Kylan, trying to peel for his team, able to take down Yuma with SS, and Alliance is gonna fall to the Transformer. Singular ult from OUG, but U is not done with this, not letting NY7 get away. Nice juggle coming out from the tree. NY7 looking for the cheeky play, possibly set it up for his team to salty res and come back, but OUG too smart for this, is going to close the distance, is going to surround NY7, and with a couple of focus attacks, he will fall to Jinyu. OUG starting off this off spawn very, very well. They still have their work cut out for them. Tons of Vipers around. But like you were saying earlier, Moxley, OA got evicted from Shipwreck and they're looking for a new home. Unfortunately, this new home is owned by JL.
Oh, and yeah, JL have all of their ultimates. They're not even going to use them. The combo break from the Temi has already been burned, and JL, without having to hard commit, can now find the elimination. In the distance, we can see OUG, but since no ultimates were committed on the side JL, pretty sure that OUG aren't going to be looking for any fight currently, as it's going to be ASC's Mistress running into position, getting that first hit of the F3, that heal tick debuff to set up into the Tessa ultimate from that stagger. One Viper ultimate comes out, and this is the V3 variant, which means that Mist does not have the opportunity to pop that V1, which in teleport comes out into play, but that blue beam and beacon as well as the bell is going to sound the alarm of where ASE have run off to. Moonbane is going to have alarm bells ringing in Wolves' heads though, and they're now the ones to which can teleport out of the fight, zooming away before the Moonbane can actually find the elimination, but what it has done is rung the dinner bell. Here comes SS1, drawn in by seeing that AoE splash, and they know that the fight's going on, and they've got the ultimate advantage.
Looking at SS1, Zuwan is set up for this chasedown. 17 grapples, nowhere to go. Wolves at LJX is going to get taken down. Closed out by Zuwan with that jumping LB. SS1 now finding, like you said, Moxie, the dinner bell. And this is a little bit of interesting situation. Vipers normally like to stay away from each other so they do not grief each other's cooldowns, but not in finals right now. Everyone's looking for that momentum to start out the day. Zuwan is going to get tested ulted. He is going to pop the V1. Can anyone get held down? Miss trying to make it around the corner. Barely gets around the corner. Dodges the stun. And now Miss coming back. Still has his ult up, but he's not able to pull it off. The great sword of Zuwan is going to take him down. And now, even though they had ult advantage coming out, SS1 scrambling to close this out. It's a scrap off right now. ASC's Zuwan is going to get juggled right now by Zuwan. Nice stagger coming out. And another follow-up by Zuwan's great sword. Down to a 2v1 situation. Now with the comfortable reset, they don't want to really risk it. Han is going to try to play the bush. Play for another life right now. Now, technically, Water does have a rest. They can find a better position right now, but the Vipers slugging it out and taking each other out off spawn.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see as well a lot of those Wu Chen portraits in blue because they're the ones that everyone prioritizes, so you can't just Wu Chen teleport if you manage to find a pick onto either the Viper and the Tessa and then carry the Kin out, revive them, and turn back in with the better ultimate advantage. And this is actually the perfect setup for these TN high teams, right? Because of the Viper teams all taking each other out, no one is really going to be in a good position to try and grief the entrances to the Realm of Yang and prevent those full teams from being able to go on through. So the Sand Siphon composition, unfortunately for OA, still lacking that Temi, probably going to be still playing to try and go full recovery, taking advantage of the fact that everyone's head will be turned towards the Realm of Yang and potentially away from the Soul Altars as CJS is losing all of that purple armor to the commitment of the full meter dump coming on through from Night HQ with those blue nunchucks, but he's drawn the ire of CJS's teammates, and 3 versus 1. This Tessa surely is not going to be long. Yeah, there she is. F1 has been burned out, and GG, just with a commitment of that Zai F2, will also be able to find the pickup to put themselves into a Realm of Yang rotation.
Yeah, GG is looking very, very stacked. Their off spawn went super well. The rotations, finding stragglers, but GG's known for this. Playing nice and safe, really setting up for that first Yang, because once they get that first Yang down, they snowball out of control. I'm hoping to see how Zai plays versus Transformers. We should see a clash of the Titans. Only 2 Transformer teams out, OUG and JL. The rest are this Xiphon composition. Now, they still have their work come out for them. All of these Yangs will be contested. We see JL already with a Moonbane at the top. But it looks like OUG and JL, they kind of have a handshake deal right now. They're willing to exchange. They're willing to go into Yang to see who can take this. We're going to get OUG versus SR for our first Realm of Yang. Jin Yu on the Monk, Baby Yu on the Kylan. Kylan with Pole Sword. Interesting choice by Baby Yu. Jin Yu's going to take to the sky, looking for the drop-down focus attack, not able to get it. Spacing out right now. Rico with the stagger, staying on top of Jin Yu, and Jin Yu turns the focus attack onto one of the teammates, popping the Monk ultimate. We're going to go to the Monk rotation right now. SS looking for the stagger for Shinyu. Shinyu misses the slam. Still looking for a grab right now. Nice kiting from SR, using the pillars to get out of line of sight to dodge all these grabs from Shinyu. Shinyu goes to the pillar, avoiding the fries on his feet right now. SR still doing a really, really good job, but Junks is going to get really, really low. Not able to get peeled by his teammates, and SS is going to take him down. Now in a 2v3 situation. Kylan also going to be popped by Baby Yu. Crowd controlling Rico right now. Rico doing his best to try to create some type of situation for Zhao, but Zhao's holding on to the Zion, trying to wait out these ultimates. Hopefully, if he can land this for just a little bit longer. Rico doing a good job of peeling. The Zai ult is going to be coming out, but it's going to be a 2v3 situation. Baby Yu is out of ultimate right now. Zhao is going to pop that ult. He has his eye ult. Nice job by Baby Yu to knock him down. SS is really low. We're down to a 2v2 right now. SR bringing this back right now all the way around. Baby Yu is going to get juggled by Rico in a 2v1 situation now. It's up to Jin Yu to bring this back, flying in, but the Zai ult is so oppressive right now. Jin Yu has no plays right now with a parry into the F, into the wall. Oh my goodness, SR is going to turn it around and bring it back. I thought it was cooked, Moxie, but it's always winnable.
It's always winnable when you have a 30-second long IV tier. Oh, especially if you're going up against the Zip, right? Because the second that you get the heal tick debuff, and it's actually something that was really, really smart coming through from Zhao. When the Tianhai ulted, he immediately applied that fire tick debuff with the Zai F2 and then navigated around that pillar afterwards to make sure that he didn't get grabbed. So even if when those players are rotating towards the pillar, so they can break LOS to stop their grabs, if the Monk was able to pick up one player and then with the V2 create that slam damage into a self-sustain heal, that would have actually been nerfed by 50% with the fire tick debuff that was going through his. Oh no. Oh, poor OA. Every single time we've looked at OA, they've been on the back foot, Raven. This is the one attempt at recovery. PP has been picked up, but he's out in the zone. He's got his Karumi ultimate that he has to just invest, and JL are going to be able to instantly pick up that little bit of straggler left for the team. So we can have a look and see GG, I believe, won against YZG inside their realm of Yang, so they've got Vermilion Birds, mate. Now immediately going to be taking a fight against another hyper buff team. We normally don't see the Viper teams going at it, but we also normally don't get to see the realm of Yang buff teams going at it. All of these teams wanting to take the elimination, wanting to stop the momentum from the other side, clip the wings so that they don't have the next 2 minutes to go as aggressive as they want with that realm of Yang buff confidence. And SR with that Syra V1 were so oppressive that there was nothing that GG could have been able to do to recover from it. Rico had some wonderful plays in that fight.
SR's really showing up to play. They're already up to 9 kills, and it's only first Yang. We are going to get Alliance versus SR. They did blow a lot of their ultimates. They do have red buff, I believe. Alliance lurking on the outside, waiting to commit right now. And OA is going to get taken down by Junks. Rico, nice parry, 1:12 on their buff. They can take this fight. See if they can get any more extra credit. Following OA into zone, Rico doing his best to throw these RMBs, trying to secure the kill onto Meng, but Meng's gonna get that max range. And now OUG is gonna be showing up with their 2-minute Yang depletion. Baby U is gonna pop the ultimate, sending Rico for a ride. Rico diving deeper into the storm, trying to drag them out if they do commit to this. Hopefully griefing their game as well. Baby U is gonna make quick work for them, but that first Shadow Realm, it's not going to really do a lot of damage in this situation, only half damage. The problem is the NBPL teams now lurk these zone situations, lurk these Yang depletion situations, and OUG has to be careful making their way back. They do find another player, Meng, deep in the zone, and they're going to force this out. The Temi ult's going to be coming out. Meng's going back and forth, trying to drown them in there. Baby U is going to throw that RMB, trying to lock him down. Nice shot from Meng to kite onto the outside. Shinju going to be chasing him down. Now things are going to start getting a little bit dicey. OUG's going to max corruption. Can Meng get away from this situation? It's looking pretty cooked for him, though, Moxie.
Yeah, that Temi is not long for this world. He does have the F1. He's going to utilize that cover break to give himself just a little bit of quite literal leverage over his pursuers. But they will be able to take him down and pick up that Soul Bloom. In the meantime, under Waterfall, we've got 2 teams going straight at it. YZG getting caught in a very cramped up space. Normally ideal position for Justina to play, but that also means that a lot of those players are going to get hit by that Tessa enchantment into the follow-up from that Syra beam. Oh my goodness, so much CC coming on through. YZG's TXJ just getting absolutely Hail Married into Stoneform, coming out from all 3 players from SS1's team, and that is YZG unfortunately not able to recover from the Yang depletion that they had attached to them after they lost against GG.
As such, this is normally looked as TXJ's position on the map. They love that cave. Now SS1 lets them know we got new owners in town. Now setting up for the second realm of Yang. And this is where it gets very, very dicey. There's no free realm of Yangs anymore. All the Vipers positioning to possibly agree for these teams going in. JL finds a nice safe realm of Yang. No one's going to be contesting them. Wanfang on that Monk. He's been impressing me this year so far. Can he keep it up? We got a full...
Wait, we got 3 tunas?
3 coordinated, that might be the first time I've ever seen it. 3 coordinated tunas all setting up. They might actually all be doing the pose And this is like optimizing tuna sharing. They just drop it, so they're already pre-posed. To switch it. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've never done that myself. 2025, we've optimized sharing the tuna with the group. That's hilarious. SR.
You gotta pack your tuna sandwiches for your team. Straight up, you gotta make sure that all of your textbooks are in your school bag. Make sure that your lunchbox is packed, and get ready to head off into the realm of Yang.
I can never look at tuna the same way. Tuna sandwich. What? All right, now it's a tuna sandwich to me. We are going to get JL versus SR. SR with their big clutch earlier. Can they fade the monk-led JL? One Fang is going to be taking the sky. Go to the double grapple cancel. Looking for the flank. One Fang tries to get a little bit of chip damage, but he is going to pop the ult on lane and keeping all of his armor. What does SR do? Last time, they had a really good job of kiting, but not versus One Fang. He's already going to be scooping one of the players right now with the hit into the juggle, into the regrab. JL on point right now, and the dash is going to come down. They're trying to heal him in. The dash is going to come up, but SR Zhao is just going to be executed in the beginning of the fight, Moxie.
Yeah, One Fang's looking for even more if he can find it. It's still a 3 versus 2. We've still got Kyle and Ultimate up on board. Another grab into another slam into another follow-up After Effect dash with that Kyle and V2. And you can see that Cuckoo is getting CC'd out. But they're doing a really good job of peeling for him. One Fang right behind his zip, making sure that with the F1 he can cover, leading up for Rico to set into that Dragon Slayer's Nessus, but the parry is there, and One Fang is able to set up his own Nessus to force out the combo break now coming in through from that Syra. 57 seconds left. One of those players incredibly low, the other getting chased down 2 versus 1 to deny any potential pillar play from coming on out. And with the light hits from that fan and One Fang playing on the sidelines, it's just going to be a matter of prolonging this fight so they can keep the buff going as long as possible.
Wow, what a different way that fight went down. JL looking surgical, getting that grab, and is instantly executing the enemy team. There was no hesitation from the Kylan to guarantee that kill right there. Definitely something I didn't notice in the first bi-weekly finals. Now, as soon as you get that kill, closing it out nice and clean, tidying it up. And that's what we were talking about a little bit about this off stream before this finals. I felt after the first week, new meta, we're coming off the offseason, a lot of rust coming off, that teams were going to be experimenting and trying a lot of things. So we are getting a little bit of an interview from SS1G1. Fortunately, we don't have translations.
这次周决目标肯定是为了夺冠嘛，希望今天就是能一帆风顺的尽早下班。
Interesting. Well, that's another way to get through the bush play. A lot of teams criticize being in bushes, but even at the pro side, sometimes during the Yang depletion, you got to be waiting on the bush on the outside because you got teams like Alliance with this Draco Storm. Very unwinnable when a team has Draco Storm, but the one composition that can fight Draco Storm is definitely Transformers. The double grab, especially when you have One Fang piloting that monk, can bring it back even in dire situations.
Oh, the bush failed them. Oh, SS1 got scattered by Alliance. By trying to play it safer, ironically, they played it more dangerously, and they've got to just switch and teleport directly into the zone. They saw it was the buff team. The Tessa enchantment connects onto water. Unfortunately, even with the blue beacon of the Witch and teleport, that Tether led them directly to the Witch End's position. He does dodge the second cast of the Tessa ultimate, and he's leading them, kiting them away from both his Tessa and his Viper now that his job has been done. Get his team into a more favorable position so that the other two can try and survive and put more distance between themselves and Alliance for when Alliance inevitably try and figure out where those two other players went. However, the head has been turned. There was a Riptide dealer, so they're going to spend a little bit of time shopping and rolling for some Jades, which is going to provide SS1 the downtime to pick up a Rebirth Charm and head their way over to a Soul Ult. And now we can see whether or not OUG's way of hiding was safer. No, JL, check the bolt hole. And oh dear, OUG are trapped directly underneath. They're going to be eating a lot of corruption tick damage, or they've got to come outside and face JL at some point.
JL just waiting and come out wherever you are, sitting at the top. Now, they're very hesitant to all in commit in the situation because it is the other monk team. And wait a second, realizing it's the other Monk team. Only 2 monks on the field. It looks like JL is opting not to take out the other monk in the field. If you're the only, like, a big part of endgame, actually, and one of the things I miss of old Naraka is monks cover monks in endgame. There is a lot of playing off of other monks. Now, it doesn't mean you're necessarily on the same team, because once you detransform, a monk will look to grab you and remember. But in a lobby full of Vipers, one transformer is most likely going to get taken out. It's the reason why we call it Attack on Titan, is they go after the Titans in these endgames. So if there's at least 2 of you, it increases your chances of surviving by what? 50%. It doubles your chances, because now there's 2 of you at least.
You've got bait as well for Spirit Well, because you can let the other Tianhai team posture up first on Spirit Well, let them be the ones that draws the ire of all of the Vipers, and then come in and ult second, which is what we actually saw at Jacob when Transformers was meta over there. SR, unfortunately, going to be scrambling in the next couple of minutes. They've got 1 minute 27 seconds to be able to lock down 3 soul glimpses. It's not just one player that they need to debuff, it's 3. Out comes the grapple, in goes the Zayef 2, out comes the Syra ultimate. SR know the desperation that they're in. They have to finish off these kills. They have to all in before the other teams in the area realize that they're the desperate team that has Yang depletion and look to punish the overcommitment that is going to be forced. But unfortunately for them, they weren't able to complete the kill in time. OUG turn up, Alliance turn up, and SR were able to get one of their players cleansed, turning now onto Dunkwing, trying to chase down that Tessa. But unfortunately, the players that they've left behind are now getting absolutely chased by GG and Alliance, who spotted the desperation, saw the heroes on the wrong side of the kill feed when they lost that Yang fight, and they're all scrambling to be able to get this last little bit of damage as that Yang depletion hits.
Yeah, GG lurking like sharks right now. They don't want to overcommit. They want to see if there's a little bit of weakness right now, but SR actually kills very cleanly right there, doesn't put themselves in a tough situation. And GG, veteran play, not to overcommit the situation. They love playing these end games. There's still 21 people alive, and we're going to be looking at the first Spirit Well of the day. This is where Transformers definitely has an edge over everyone. The 2025 Transformers has the Monk, has the Kylan to shove people out, similar to how Takeda operates, where you can keep people out of the circle. And Monk's one weakness in endgame really is that vulnerability to range, but inside that dome, the Monk is going to reign supreme, especially with the healing Monk. He is so tanky and hard to get out there. Wait a second, I spoke too soon. GG is going to be putting on the pressure of SR. They know they have no ultimate, so not going to let them just reset for free. And now it's stuck in a hard position between ASC. GG navigating this endgame, trying to get teams against each other, forcing them in tough positions, and now SR is going to be making their way in slowly, but the zone's done a ton of damage right now. Zhao is going to come back, pop his Comet into GG, forcing CJS to commit to this, and now both of these teams in a tough position. ASC on the outside looking back in, but Zhao's going to be down to 1 HP. LXM on the Matari is going to fade away. 3-3-0 with the long-range musket shot is going to take down Zhao.
Oh, but here's the unfortunate thing. No team has currently kept Spirit Well until just now. JL literally just picked it up, and in goes the zone, heralding everybody closer to JL, which means all of those ultimates that just got burned in the zone fights, yeah, they don't have them now to be able to keep themselves alive from Zhao. Zhao Liu's coming in now with that Kylan V2, because JL are on an absolute tear, and they are not going to be shut down. They're turning onto GG. CTS is going to be able to slip below and potentially lose the attention as the Kylan turns on to Furifrio, forcing that Syra into having to burn the V1. Now that that's done, he can hold on to his V2, understand that he has the stack of potential if the Syra gets a little bit too oppressive, or he can wait it out and come through with that ultimate before the Syra has to be peeled for his players, and off of the back with just that legendary damage from that staff, as well as the Moonbane that is currently making it an absolute havoc for these teams to rotate away from JL with that Draco Storm. They're more than content to hold on to these ultimates, pressure the players into dropping below, and out comes the cannon, and there goes the range shots. Poor GG are getting absolutely barbecued as that space becomes an oven.
Wanfang with the cannon, keeping up the pressure onto everyone. OUG shadowing JL right now. Both Transformers teams looking like we're playing a little bit of solos right now, Moxie. two Transformers teams moving from Spirit Well to Spirit Well, same compositions. A lot of this, are we getting a giant extended family strategy right now with the two Transformers showing up? OUG, ASC, all on the outside. 18 people left alive, but 6 players with the Monks composition against the world right now. Everyone is closing in. GG is up to 10 kills right now. Alliance up to 8 kills. ASC up to 6 kills. Normally, when you get to this high amount of kills, you're looking for a way to cinch it up to get that MVP because you want that multiplier. Now, we've seen a lot of ties in the past, but how do these Viper teams find a way to close out this game when the two strongest, most durable heal-off compositions are turtling up at the edge of it? ASC looking for a position. Now, something interesting we saw during the weeklies, we did see some teams run some Wu Chen poured-in Viper stuns. I'm wondering if we see some of the shenanigans of using that Wu Chen port with Viper stun, especially with how turtled up these Transformers are. They are waiting for this Spirit Well to the last second right now, for that very last second to get maximum buff going into this endgame. And as the zone's closing in, looking at this terrain, there's not much places to hide from these monk rounds, Moxie. We got one building over here. We got a little bit of sticks here and there, but these two monks, when they ult, it's going to be an all-you-can-grab buffet.
Yeah, and that's really bad news for the Cyrus and really bad news for the Vipers because both of them can get nabbed out of those ultimates. Dome has been popped though. That is the side effect of both JL and OUG waiting it out for the full duration. So the range pressure can come through. However, it is going to be JL instantly grabbing that Spirit Well and the armor and the double ultimate cycle. Here comes the Viper ultimate in retaliation. Zhuao Liu just taking cover behind that tree to dodge away from that Viper V3 so that he can keep coming on through with these Kylan dashes. The first Wu Chen teleport comes on out from Wolves as they try and bunker themselves up onto that high ground. But like we talked about, there's not a lot of terrain for everyone to be able to hide from. The first Monk cycle comes on through from OUGs, and Jin Yu gets the grab onto NiHQ, turns around, throws him into the zone. The Tessa has to burn the combo break to make sure that she doesn't either corruption take damage, and that means that when she recovers, she's going to be close enough for a reverb grab to come on through, and that's another kill picked up now for one Transformers team. NiHQ down, one form of CC removed from the side of Wolves, so they're going to be very careful about how they try and take on these Transformer teams. But unlike JL, OUG don't have a double ult cycle, so the second that Tianhai is out of Transformer state, they become vulnerable, and you can see the pressure that's coming through from all sides as potentially JL even turn to look to betray.
JL on the opposite end, trying to keep the other side preoccupied with the cannon. Wanfang has his ultimate right now. Cuckoo did have to pop the zipping ult to keep them stabilized, and now Wolves in a tough position. GG activating, staying low key, even though they have the best gear, not really aggroing everyone, just slowly setting up to play this endgame. GG known for being the chess masters of these endgame situations. It's like OUG's going to be posting up on the top rows, but Alliance is like, wait a second, we're not going to be giving up that up for free. JL full gold armor is definitely the favorite to take this, and now Wanfang is going to activate, pop that monk ult. Can we get a grab? We do get Yuma scooped up right now on the top row. We'll see other Monk team OUG staying safe right now. Wu Chen port is going to come now. Wanfang surrounded by Wu Chen walls, looking for a grab by now, looking at the high ground, looking for a grab, ends up grabbing one of Wolves' member, looking for the double grab, not able to get it, throws down LX, and now the Viper ult activating right now. No. A minute left. Can they survive the Monks in this endgame?
Oh my goodness, that kid got grabbed out of the ultimate. Jin Yu now goes for the second cycle of the Tianhai. Will be able to find one grab. They use JL to bait all of that CC, and now the ults aren't there to stop the Tianhai. The silence is around though, so Jin Yu's not going to be able to do much until it runs out. He's going to look for one grab, looks for the double, won't be able to find it, goes for the slam down instead so he can get the heal to keep himself sustained. Baby Yu still holds on to his ultimate so he can try and win the heal frame situation, as Jin Yu just outside of that ultimate is going to get hit by the Tester enchantment and potentially go down now that he's vulnerable. But it's GG who's coming through with all of the kills currently. That Matari ultimate makes it so much easier for them to slip away from the Viper stuns that are coming through from every single Attack on Titan team still in play. Wanfang, a sliver of health, has the means of hitting that Tianhai F1 to keep himself alive. Looks for the parry as an NY7 throws out the RMB from those fist blades, looking for the last hit of damage. But here comes JL's last bit of hope. Kylan ultimate on on the field. 4 seconds of Kylan Guard still has not been procced. He's dashing through so many plays. He's getting so much heal resets off of the back of all of those players stunned on up, but unfortunately, he's not able to grab a Soul Bloom, and his baby who has to go toe-to-toe with Free but the Siren outlives everybody, and GG take it home.
Look how hyped GG is. And we saw them all of last year. When they won the round, they just kind of nodded it off just like another standard round. But last year, they came up short. They wanted to clear up everything. Now, in this second bi-week league finals, able to clean this up. And still, I think in the future, there definitely will be some questions of whether or not which support is going to be accompanying these teams. But first, off spawn, we are going to get the #1 position on the map. It's going to be OUG versus OA for the Red Jade, for that extra life to start out.
Yeah, I mean, one of OA's players have already been able to find themselves purple armor, so definitely loot advantage going that way. Unfortunately, numbers advantage firmly in OUG's camp currently. 3 players versus 1. They find the isolation, but Meng, with a huge double parry, turns the fight back around for his team. And now Baby U is on the back foot, has to space out to be able to find a heal. And OA have noticed a lack of player. They've noticed a lack of Viper. They turn around and push back in before that reset can be found. Given that Tesla ultimate, though, being able to cast with 60% rage rather than 100 allows OUG the first ultimate to throw it into this fight, and PP goes down off of the back of it. 2tick now without players to be able to back him up, gets set into the stagger lockdown, and it is just going to be a matter of cleanup as here comes SR rolling up, because like you said, Arcadia is that prime real estate position, but off of the back of that, many teams want this area under their possession, and SR taking a little bit longer to set up their loots and their ultimates, timing attack into third party perfectly onto OUG mid cleanup onto OA.
Jinju, oh my goodness, he fades out with the double charge back to back and hits him with the parry, buying so much time, bringing back OUG. And even though SR comes in with the third party, OUG smacks them away, letting them know you cannot third party us. But that was definitely on the back of Shinju. Really, really tricky play for him to fade out, buy some time, get the double charge fries on the third partying SR. Really, really clutch stuff coming out from OEG. And they keep playing this way. It's looking like they might be also one of the favorites neck to neck with GG as this round goes the distance.
Yeah, 5 eliminations for OEG. They're going to be very happy because now they can set up to catch onto some of those teams looking to recover when things like the floating pile spawn on through, especially since they'll have full Tesla ultimate as well. SS1's water, just trying to find a little bit of loot as well as some scouting pattern. They have been able to lock down a alliance, but we can see that a lot of these teams are actually currently split. There's a 1 versus 1 going off on a separate pocket of space, and that's going to be interrupted immediately. No fair 1 versus 1s here. It's going to be Matari ultimate coming on through. Yuma dodges the Matari stagger with that Kylan F1, buying the time, and we can figure out why the Tianhai was absent from that fight. It's because he was casting that Moonbane charm onto the location, and now with the Kylan ultimate coming on through, they have the means of being able to find the chase down. The zip with the F1 is going to be able to lock onto Yuma's position. The homing beacon keeps his health bar active so he can keep these dashes coming. They get lower and lower though and start kiting back towards that Moonbane so that Culling can get the reset off into the AoE, so that Alliance do not have the confidence to be able to follow. Water comes on through with a very late Syra ultimate. Revenge has gone down in the meantime, was not able to save his resources, had to spend them all on trying to keep Yuma active, and now it's going to be NY7 looking to find a grab out into the Moonbane. He goes, the RNG does set up one puddle, but I don't know if it actually collapsed onto the Zai. This Tianhai ultimate is about to be done though, and SS1 have lived the burst cycle from Alliance, and now they get to come on through with second wind.
Wow. Moonbane coming down. NY7. This is one of the ways you can kind of leverage to stay alive as a transformer, is get that defensive Moonbane going down. Yuma doing his best as ride as a searcher, but SS1's U1 is going to close it out with his teammates, and Alliance is going to fall. Looking at the scores, SS1 with 3 kills winning their off spawn, Wolves winning their off spawn as well. ERG also winning their off spawn with a little bit of extra credit. Now Bauda's XEM looking for the drop down on a DRG, but the Syra ult is going to come down to peel off XEM. Now stuck in this valley, XEM is going to pop his ult, but his teammates are not ready to follow up and get the stagger. So the V1 from the Viper ends up just being a zoning tool. And now Bauda on the back foot right now, gets the Tessa ultimate. Kakaxi out of the ult, but Jing with a big parry is gonna get forced off right now. Bauda doing their best to fight back in the situation. DRG with this ambush have been getting the best of them, and now Jing down to a 1 HP situation, but WX98 is gonna fall. Kakaxi has to bring this back, gets a double fly, but ends up getting staggered from behind, and Jing again with another parry, but DRG's Kakaxi able to find a kill right now. XEM is gonna get chased down, and now in a 2v1 situation, Bauda is gonna fall. DRG, what a back and forth fight, able to close out.
Yeah, they were able to commit that Matari ultimate with that V1. Unfortunately for them, though, talked about floating piles, and that is going to be SR Zhao underneath the Mercury River. Was he spotted? There will be air bubbles just above the river surface, but no, DRG are none the wiser to the Tessa currently cunningly lurking beneath this river, trying to figure out whether or not they can collapse onto WX98, who's a little bit behind the pack in the rotation. And here comes the hit squad. He gets grappled onto, but he is able to make it up the cliffside before SR find the confidence to give chase. And oh boy, that could have gone horribly, horribly wrong.
Indeed, Moxie. SR has been having a solid day so far, especially with their Viper composition. Now, we did get back-to-back night times to open up this bi-weekly final, so seeing a ton of Viper action and how these teams are adjusting for it. It's looking like that Matari does have an edge in these situations, but it really depends on who's piloting. Now, OUG and GG, both on the Viper composition, going to be taking notes right now of who can play this better. Alliance Yuma on the Kylan, though, zipping back and forth, juggling SS1 Zuan, but all is going to be over right now. Now, Zuan has that focus slide, unlosable neutral right now, giving Yuma the pain right now. Revenge is going to fall. The Monk ult is going to come out a little bit later. Didn't have ult in time, and SS1's going to find themselves in a 2 or 3v1 situation. NY7 juggling, trying to jump away from the pain of this chopping pole sword, but SS1's water will chop the tree down of NY7. Nice execution coming out from SS1 to wipe out Alliance.
You know what's worse than a focus light, Raven? A focus light Matari ultimate, so you can't even see it coming. Oh my goodness, that must have been so tilting. Oh, and unfortunately for them as well, it's directly as the realm of Yang is about to spawn on up, so the Transformers team isn't going to be in a position to be able to look to scale into taking that fight, given the fact that they committed all of their ultimates and they're going to have to recover all of their loot. OUG, in the meantime, very happy with what they've been able to pick up so far. They've grabbed themselves a cave key. They've also grabbed themselves the Vault Point Essence. So they've been able to spirit it away from any team that would use it inside that realm of Yang to give themselves that second lease of life with the Mortal Defiance proc coming on through. But one of the changes that was made is that when a cave key gets picked up, everybody sees the location of that cave key. And we can see that OUG kiting over here has drawn SS1 in, and now they have to fight tooth and nail for this loot that they would otherwise be able to get. Baby U is currently being focused. OUG trying to turn the spacing into a 2 versus 1, putting the pressure onto SS1 Zuan so that the Matari is forced into burning that ultimate defensively rather than aggressively, and they can just Wuchen teleport out and then turn back into the fight with the Viper V1, understanding the threat that it now poses.
Now going into the realm of Yang, we are going to get Owe versus JL. Temi ult is going to be committed right now. Tut on the outside is going to pop that late Zai ult. What can you show us, Tut? Owe, the Zai anchor right now is going to be looking for that Takeda, but Takeda has a little bit of shoves right now. JL's Cuckoo coming in with the staff to peel, and OA's Meng is gonna fall, but Tut still has that Zai ult. We've seen this Zai ultimate come in clutch for other teams right now. Cuckoo doing his best to fade out, and nice job with the Cavalry Bloom. JL Cicada's able to come in and get the stagger. PP now going for a ride, and JL again in an impressive finish inside the realm of Yang.
Oh my goodness, OEG and SS1 are still fighting currently. Water with that Syra V1 microwave beaming down all of these players from the side of OUG. It's just a matter of clean up now. And I mean, looking at that Realm of Yang, it was exactly like you talked about, Raven. The one criticism, the one fallback of that Siphon composition is the lack of combo breaker on that Zai, and that Takeda knew it. So out comes the montage, out comes the Cavalry Bloom, and that poor Zai can do absolutely nothing to escape the grapple kick into Cavalry Bloom follow through.
I think it's one of the weaknesses of the modern Zypher, not having that Kurumi F3 to bail you out of situations, but what you do get is this crazy amount of rushdown power with the Matari, with the Syra. Your so-called support actually has a gold combo break right now. She also can stagger, but Wolves with the Draco Storm, not the Vermilion. They probably grab the Spirit Well for this. ZK is going to pop that ultimate, has the V3 up, looking for the lockdown, not able to get it. WX98 is going to get the business, but nice peel coming up from Zai, preventing the focus attack coming in, but Kakashi stuck against the wall right now. Nice stagger coming out from ZK, not letting him out of the situation. Zai is out, trying to peel for his teammates, and Wolves is going to get broken up.
No, the sign!
The sign comes in, and Dong Q is going to come down due to the sign. OA is able to get a ton of kills here for their Vermilions, but Cure DRG also is going to get taken down. Just so much ooga booga into this doorway with the sign, but OA is going to come out on top.
I'm not sure if this fight is over just yet, though, because SR are in the area. A lot of teams get drawn into Imperium to try and find fights, either to cleanse Yang depletion or to third party into them and take advantage of the desperation that all of those teams have been forced into. You can see DRG 12 eliminations currently in soul form, going to be navigating to a Spirit Well, or rather Soul Altar, as JL, there it is. Xiao Leo putting the pain train in with the Cavalry Bloom once more, and it's not been a good round or day so far. Unfortunately for YZG, as JL are on an absolute tear, 7 eliminations. SS1 also 9 eliminations. This has been a very high scoring lobby for a lot of teams currently, and crucially, OUG, our current leaders on the overall scoreboard, have been knocked out of the lobby fully, Raven. So the distance between this team and everybody else is going to be made up incredibly quickly.
Yeah, looking at the scoreboard, GG's at 35, but all the way down to 8th place. SR at 26, only a 9-point difference. And as speaking of SR, we find them finding some kills onto YZG. And like you were saying, Moxie, YZG not having the best day so far, surviving and fading. The Viper pressure on these nighttime days is so tough, especially on Perdoria. There's so many Fireflies on Perdoria that these Viper teams are basically just going to run siege against all these Matari and Transformer teams, making it very, very difficult. They don't need to get a full team wipe. As long as they slow one of you down, as long as they pick off one of those priority carries on the team who has that nice weapon, it's going to put a big hamstring in your strategy, because you're trying to go into Yang. You're not trying to sit on the outside and play into these unfair matchups. You want to get that fair 3v3. All these Wu Chen teams able to dive in and out with this hit and run strategy, pulling in and out, just dumping all their cooldowns and then leaving. And with the relationship of these Mataris running around, hard countering that situation, it ends up being very, very volatile for anyone else. And what we've seen so far, Moxie, is that one character that's definitely prioritized on these nighttime days is that Matari. Zyphon does do well enough versus Transformers that it does edge out picking Transformers over Zyphon, at least as we've seen so far on the nighttime days.
I mean, speaking about hamstrings, I'm pretty sure SS1 are going to be looking to cut some as they get ready to navigate into another Realm of Yang. They've got not only Focus Light and a Pole Sword to be able to follow up into that confirmed horizontal hit of LMB, they've also got Dragon-like Might on their halberds, so keep your eye on that one. There's going to be a little bit of a juggle play coming in, methinks, if they're able to find a 2 versus 1 inside that 3 versus 3 fight them. GG are also going to be showcasing their soldiers. We've got Benfic Descent coming on through for CJS with his own halberds. And it is going to be the first Realm of Yang spawning on through. Is any team immediately going to enter? That is going to give away how confident they are putting themselves through. We're going to have to wait and see the matchups that come out. SS1 instantly, frame 1, throwing themselves into that portal. They're going to be going up against OA, and we're going to look as they take to the sky. In the meantime, I think DRG might actually have been able to bag theirs for free. PP comes on down with the drop down RMB from that pole sword, leading up into the Zai Comet hit coming in through from 2 Tick, but the damage has been done. 2 Tick already got absolutely blitzed down by SS1 coming on through with that massive hit of damage, and off of the back of that one, it's just going to be cleanup, I'm sure. The Syra is going to get juggled around Edge1. It's going to get hit by that Stun Dazzle from PP's ultimate, but he's still got the Zai V2 in play. Water still got his own Syra V1 in play, and with Yuan taking to the sky, making it incredibly hard for the Stun Dazzle to be able to lock him down. The Syra ultimate now has been done through. There's the Focus Light into the Dragon, like into the Comet chase down, and that is SS1 just playing with that food with that last fight.
We are going to get DRG versus JL inside the Realm of Yang. JL Cicada able to find WX98 with the flank. Has the Cavalry Bloom, is going to take him down, and now clean up for JL. Last person left alive. They're going to keep him alive, delay this for as long as possible. Kakaxi is going to try to fight his way out of this. Now on the outside, we're going to see GG running the classic macro strategy on the outside, and this is where Viper definitely has an edge right now. They can wait to the very last second as long as they don't get snuck up on. SS1 on the other hand already has Draco Storm and searching around right now. Bauda hiding in the bush, hoping that they don't get hit by the sick, hoping that SS1 doesn't throw a bow shot over there. And it looks like they're going to be able to survive that situation as SS1 goes over here to hit the bell. No one is going to be found. Might be a cosmetic buff for them. 2 minutes left though. Will they? Does Xiphon really take fights right there? You can with a singular ult, but you're seeing all the Blueberry teams finding little spots to just hide and play out this second Yang depletion situation.
Yeah, JL now also finished playing with their food. And finish off the Realm of Yang fight to be able to pick themselves up Draco Storm. And out comes the Scavenger Party. Who are they going to be able to run into? First, it's going to be a little bit of a pit stop off at the Rift Dealers to be able to change those halberds into... Oh my goodness, they got legendary halberds off of the Realm of Yang, and they've got Cavalry Bloom. And we're going to get a Draco Storm fight with both of their teams. Yuan is rolling up. The musket comes out to start chipping away. No, maybe it's just a case of SS1 wanting to control the dealers so they can roll for some Soul Jade too, because both of those teams understand it's not first buff, it's not Vermilion Bird's Might. If they go toe-to-toe right now, there is a very real risk that only one of those teams will live. It might potentially be a fragmented team, and that provides too much of an opportunity for the Yang depletion teams to look for this turnaround. So it's going to be both of the buff teams in a separate location as both of the debuff teams take a fight to determine who survives in this lobby.
Best situation, find the other Yang depletion team at the res. We're going to get OA versus DRG. WX98 is going to get fried by Tut retreating. Cyber ult is already invested right now, and we saw what happens when you don't invest ult. Sometimes you can get blown up, especially when you don't have that gold F. 2 minutes and 48 seconds. OA is doing a good job of putting the pressure onto DRG. Fire is going to be coming out. They are in zone, ticking away at the health. Kakaxi is going to get the double charge, and Mang is going to be put in a tough situation, but a nice job from their Zai, from a Tut to come over and peel right now. WX98 though with a nice hit, with a nice flank, but OA is going to come out on time. Meng's going to be able to eat a Soul Bloom at the last second, and they are able to clear up some of that Yang depletion. Oh, all of them. I saw the little debuff on there. I was like, we got 3 kills. Did we clear up all of them? And it looks like that we're able to get through. Now looking at the leaderboards right now, GG at 2, JL at a monstrous 10, and above them, SS1 at 12. Siphon and Siphon going into this end game. Who's going to be coming out on top? ASC on the Transformers. OA having a decent run as well.
SR going for a swim, Raven. We've got the Naraka Bladepoint Triathlon. We've got grappling, we've got fan dagger kiting, and we've got Mikuru River swimming. There we go. So I'm just pushing them off. SS1 didn't actually realize that SR were rotating that way, by the way, and they get a clear path to be able to rotate without getting pressured, given the disparity in their loot. As we can see, GG, with just the last couple of moments of Draco Storm, have been able to find a team, and unfortunately, it is going to be Bowder that they have been able to lock on to. SS1's also showing up in the distance, so we can see a potential third-party play coming on through. This is the reason why CGS started heading over to here, so that he can go for a little bit of a shot, potentially to turn that dagger into a fan, as with the Draco Storm running on out, these teams get emboldened to potentially posture up and actually take a fight.
Yeah, things are going to be slowing down going into this endgame. 9 minutes left alive. We got Bowda and SR on the high grounds. And this is what we're more traditionally used to seeing. Viper teams generally don't like engaging on each other. We've seen a lot of more aggression, especially off spawn between all the Vipers. But it's, I think, still Moxie, it's because it's the beginning of the season. It's not really known where everyone wants to land. There's a lot of new rosters up. So unlike last year where everyone was super dialed into their landing positions, this year everyone's going to be fighting tooth and nail to find some positions. Now we are going to be seeing the Spirit Well come out. A lot of strategy has been developed around this Spirit One, and it looks like no one wants to give this up to immediately. JL postures to go in, but immediately bails out as multiple Tesla ults come flying in, and now Bowda with the blue armor, with these blueberries sitting in the middle, trying to find a position right now. Multiple Viper teams going out, pushing all of the Siphon and Xiphons out of there. Looks like Vipers are all in the middle. Wait a second, all the Vipers just looking at each other. Are we seeing more solo strategy in trios right now?
I mean, the Forbidden Seal is an extra wrinkle that these teams are having to navigate into the situation. You can see Xiao Xiao just running around the Cavalry Bloom, trying to play off of the setup of the Aurora Burst from Wanfeng. If one player gets pancaked up by that silence effect, they're going to get carried through with the Cavalry Bloom to get additionally cooked. Bowder get absolutely fried. Well done by that musket. Will be able to find the Wuchen teleport to revive their teammates away from all of the fray on the Spirit Well. Currently, CJS does manage to find the power as well. Wanfeng loses the Hong Sword, so no more Aurora Burst spam. Grief coming on through from JL. That's going to embolden a lot of these teams. We can see the Zai is actually going to commit in with that V2 at the same time as Water patrols on the outskirts of the Spirit Well. Anyone gets close and they're going to get pushed into the Dragon-like might. But here comes JL. They've got Cavalry Bloom. They've got another Hong Sword. This time around it's going to be blue, but it's still got the Soldier of Destiny attached to it. And that is all of the threat that JL needs. Dome has been popped. Are we going to see teams abandon ship and try and scramble away? No, they're still throwing themselves directly into the Spirit Well contest. Raven, we might see a despawn.
We have seen it before as teams have gotten so good at delaying. SS1's Water is going to pop that Cyber ult. The Aurora Burst is going to be coming out. JL really wants this, but so does SS1. Both of these teams very, very stacked. Gold armor on multiple players right now. Water with the Syra is going to be beaming down, forcing Wanfeng and his team away from this situation. They have to be careful right now. Multiple teams on the outside are looking in. GG especially lurking, waiting for their time to pounce. They don't need to do the heavy lifting. If JL and SF1 want to grief their games, all of the blue armor teams also on the outside waiting to take this pounce, but OA is going to come in the center, but Bowda is going to come with this V1 looking for an execution right now. SS1 doing their best to get away. They are going to get staggered right now. Water is going to get taken down. Matari SS1 Zuan trying to peel for his teammates right now. ZZT on the Wu Chen down to 1 HP, but still on the speed roll. Out of nowhere, ASC comes in and gets into the circle on their Transformers, letting everyone know that they are here to stay. They want to claim this. They want to bring their game back. Zipping ult's going to be invested as well. The no ult zone just in front of them. As long as Hand doesn't touch it, he will not have a problem. And it looks like they are about to get it, and they end up taking it. Hand does get the weapon, wait, no, he doesn't.
No, they didn't. It despawned. They got pushed off it by a Tesserol.
Oh my goodness, and now GG stuck in the Moonbane. The 80% Moonbane is going to come out, but JL is going to get unlucky with this. Instead of GG, they're going to fight their way out of this, and GG is climbing up the leaderboard up to 5 kills.
GG, the actual professional griefers. That was their Tesserol. They threw the Tesserol in onto ASC, and ASC really thought that they had that and committed so much to be able to stick their position. But you could see, like, all of these teams, one of the changes that was made to Spirit World the last year was that everyone on the outsides of it can see the charge, that everyone is up to it. Now we've got one more Spirit Wall coming on through. Everyone's ultimates have been exhausted. It's also going to be deep in the middle of Forbidden Seal too, so even if you had the rage, you wouldn't be able to use them, which means it's a fight of neutrality. Tutik utilizes that Zai F2 to put the pressure onto anyone who could potentially contest, and off of the back of OA having to already prioritize a rotation over to that Spirit Wall, it's not going to be the same slugfest of a contest that went and overran that 182nd time. It's now going to be OA with White Tiger's prowess and full access to all of their ultimates since Forbidden Steel has dropped, putting the pressure onto everyone, and it's up to all of these other teams in the lobby to react around them.
OA with the Zai, going to be chasing down Miss, making his way into zone, trying to deny this kill. His life is going to be taken down. Tut has been on fire today on his Zai. 17 people left alive. A nice little scenic arc going into this endgame. We're going to have an ultimate high ground and an ulti low, plus the tower in the background. Very, very interesting endgame going into development right now. ASC's Han is going to get lifted up and skewered. PP and OA going to find another kill, snowballing this endgame right now. 16 people left alive. ASC is going to get picked off by SS1 Juwon right now, popping the V1, trying to get away. Nice stagger going to come out of Juwon, keeping the pressure right now, going to invest as Zion wants to secure this kill. Tessa ult is going to be coming down from Bauda's XEM, not able to actually getting hit by the Syra ult as well. All the teams scrambling to find some footing right here, trying to take advantage of the chaos of the Spirit Wall team. And now the thing is settled down as the dust lowers down. We got Bauda, OA, SR, and GG all with their full squads, with a couple duos running around trying to play some placement. But again, Moxie, we got GG playing the chess match, playing the long game on the high ground, binding their time.
Well, I think forget duos. YG is unfortunately going to have to play solos right now. It is going to be a Tian High that they still have, so they might be able to grief the heal-off situation. But like you said, GG. Oh my goodness, what a situation this team have been able to fight themselves in. They were able to grab that Aurora Burst off of the team that was throwing it down. I believe it was JL who was spamming the Aurora Burst, so they've been able to pilfer away that Soul Jade and establish themselves off of the back of the threat of it, up on that high ground, entirely uncontested. If you come close to them, you come close to the silence effect, and everyone in this lobby will turn immediately on to you. TXJ, the lone Tian High, the last one in this lobby, cannot afford to get spotted, as GG, the zone is going to force them off of that high ground, but with the threat of the Aurora Burst, no team can get close enough to be able to contest them. And it looks like we're just going to go to a little bit of buccaneering phase. Cannon range shots exchange from low to high and vice versa. Everyone just trying to burn through some of those resources. So when we head off into heal situation, potentially some of those ultimates have already been forced to tick on. That Zai is going lower and lower. The team doing a very good job actually of throwing out those focus hits to be able to cover the Zai with hyper armor so that he doesn't start losing that armor before he can heal. And unfortunately, TXJ gets hit before he can ultimate. Tianhai out of the lobby, and that is going to kickstart the powder keg of action that is all of these teams scrambling as the zone pushes them closer.
Powder keg of action is indeed kicking off, Moxie. OA in a prime position to close this out. They're keeping their Syra ult on deck. They want to play this heal off situation, but the team's up top raining down cannon shots. Bowda on the ultimate height, but GG with that Aurora burst and this little bit of pocket able to ice off the pressure from them. Even though they have the height, they are going to have to make a decision right now whether or not they're going to be dropping down. Now the cannon pressure is coming out. Nice job from SR's Wuchen to defend against a lot of this cannon pressure coming out from GG, but it's going to be relentless. The cannon pressure also coming out from OA, stuck in a tough position. Will SR choose to stay up top and eat the cannon shots or drop down and commit to the low ground? And it looks like they're going to drop down for a second going into this heal off situation. All OA has to do right now is keep their Syra alive, keep her kicking. Tut doing his best to put on the pressure on the high ground. GG is going to eat that Tesla ult. Now going his last little bit. LXM trying to get that his soul back. Not able to. Another Tesla ult going to be coming out. GG trying to stay on his little bit of high ground. CGS with their Aurora burst covering everyone, but now Bowda's XEM with the V1 stun. Where can anyone go? The Wuchen port is going to come out trying to iframe it. Unfortunately, he missed times, and the Syra ult's going to be invested. And again, we're seeing that classic position at the top. PP going in, tossing in those hits, trying to last that last little bit of moment. He's going to get a little bit of heal. XEM's going to come for that last hit, but PP is going to be able to close it out and stay alive. And OA putting themselves in a great position to take it. But who is going to get the MVP, Moxie?
I feel like it's probably OA. Yeah, there it is. Immediate clarification. Asking you shall receive. And once again, like you said, it's the Syra playing Skyward, who just waits for the zone to close. After all of that CC has been done, we see
of all these teams macroing up and that non-stop cannon pressure in endgame.
Well, the question for OUG and SR is who's going to be able to survive this opening brawl. SR have been able to get the better of the loot situation, and unfortunately Jinyu, without a weapon, did not have the means of focused dashing away from all of this follow-up damage. Tessa was also able to get her hands onto the Fireflies too, so the first V1 comes on out. Gonna be spaced out by the Temi throwing out that wind wall, but Baby is gonna go down to the jump horizontal from that spit. ASE with a timing attack though, that landed a little bit further north of field up in Plume, and drop in with purple armor on the Syra, but hand down that ultimate is going to get caught by the Tessa Urn, as is one of his other players. They take the Tessa down though before that enchantment can hit onto them, and now with Rico pulling out the slaps, Han should be able to finish off this fight. That being said, the slaps have been able to pull the rage almost necessary for the Wuchen to pull out the rest of their team, but unfortunately his health bar is so low that he's not able to follow the animation through, and he goes down mid-cast.
YZG trying to clean up the situation. It's like TXG is going to find Han hiding behind that rock, but QGG is chasing down OUG right now. Light into hold 2. Nice job from SS to come flying in. Tap dodge through though. QGG icing out some of this pressure. Able to dodge the uppercut combo from SS. Skaktor's going to be involved. Goldef's going to be invested. But now the backup of CXZ showing up. SS is going to opt to retreat from this situation, but tough situation because this is what the Viper composition is looking for off spawn. We just want to pick up these nice, easy off spawn kills. No grapples to anyone's name though. Nice ult going to come out from QGG. Sick of chasing him down. SS just making them work for it, making them earn it. He is finally going to fall, and YZG is going to find 4 kills off spawn.
Okay, there is no way that because everyone was looking for those chase downs, SR, one single player was able to go to Salvation Podium, solve the puzzle, make away with the legendary staff, and then run away to meet his team, who are currently midway towards that Soul Altar. Unfortunately, as we headed away from the Viper's POV, I believe I did catch sight of an enemy team spawning up on that mini-map too, so we'll have to wait and see whether or not he was able to hold on to that legendary staff. As SS1 over towards Mataba, going to be picking through all of the individual wedding cake layers through this particular terrain. Water ringing the bell, getting a better read of the situation of whether or not they are going to be contested, or whether or not they can take some of the time to be able to loot through those troves. As I really want to see the Cheryl composition go Realm of Yang, purely because, like you said, the adaptation that is going to have to be made on the fly for whichever team they run into is going to be something to watch. As always, PP gets a little bit of pressure coming on through from the horizontal touch, that grapple momentum follow-up. Still not enough to force the ultimate. That is going to be the F-Force now, as well as the zipping ultimate coming in through from the side of Mong. 2Tick's also got that Kylan ultimate currently into play. PP holding off on committing that V2. They're looking to just try and find the rush down on these fragmented players of Wolves. Forces out that Syra ultimate, and now PP, understanding that he can grab the Syra out of her ultimate, is going to look to cancel it, and there it is. LJX gets grabbed on out into the After Effect dashes from the Kylan V2, and Wolves' turnaround play is stopped immediately in its tracks by OA, who's looking for another grab, just barely doesn't manage to find the one, but does pick up the Syra yet again, and is going to be able to find the slam, but not the follow-up damage off of the F1. Unfortunately, the reverb is there, and no combo breaker is there to bail the Syra out this time.
Wow, people makes it look easy on them about getting those re-grabs again. Really, really hard to get grabbed if you're uncontested like that. So nice job from PB to read exactly what the Syra was going to do coming out of it. And Meng is going to clean up that kill. OA doing well on the outside. What invisible parry going to come out? It looks like PB coming in with the flank. ZK in a tough position, going to pop the F. Support his teammate by popping his ultimate now. Now Meng having a stellar time with the parries today is just gonna fall. Not much you can do against an ulted Zai with no cooldowns. Now PP on the other end, he had those monk grabs earlier, but now no monk grabs for him. Is gonna get juggled, sent to the ground, and missed with the jumping LBs. Is gonna close it out. This is one of the unfortunate parts of the corner of the map. It's very easy to get trapped off and not be able to kite away. We are going to get Bauda versus JL on the complete opposite end where the grass is greener. Wuchen Fs are going to be coming in to heal up everyone. Bauda's XEM is going to pop that V1, trying to look for the stun onto Cuckoo, but GL's One Fong able to iframe it, and again, off rip, able to get that grab right away, Moxie.
Yeah, but denied the slam down with the Wuchen teleport. But that's both the Viper ultimate and the Wuchen teleport invested, so Bauda likely not going to be committing, as it is now going to be them just rolling past OUG. Did they hear the revive? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. We're not seeing Shinny? Okay, there we go! Tesla ultimate comes into there. I was like, is there a purple in this bush? No, it's just Jinyu somehow. Lani might not be in play, but that is a master of illusion right there. Camouflaging into the rock face before about to turn around, realize that something's not quite right with that cliffside, and prior to Tesla ultimate to be able to lock down the elimination, as well as the loot. As we head over towards the city of Tang, Kylan ultimate comes into play. One Fong still not going to have that Tianhai ultimate, given that they just respawned in this location, and yet again denied the kills, denied the loot upgrade potential by a Wuchen teleport, taking YZG out into the alleyways of City of Tang so they can break the ankles, cut the noise, and heal up now that they're down ultimates, and worry about that Tianhai recommitting in with a V2.
Yeah, that play, if you don't move, they don't see you. Just
Tyrannosaurus Rexes, apparently.
Everyone can see movement. Now, a lot of movement's going to be going down. DRG versus SR. Junk's going to pop that V3, chasing him down. Able to get the stagger, but the peel from this Kylan putting Junks into a car crash, just flying left and right. He doesn't get to play the game. He's flying around, getting juggled, finally gets back to his senses. Kurumi ult's going to be coming out, tries to fade out of it, doesn't want to fight in the center, and Mongol is going to be coming down, but Junks is going to fall. Good job from DRG, able to weather the storm, but unfortunately that Wuchen port is going to come out. They're not going to get much value out of their Mongol and Kurumi ult. Besides this reset, they are going to have to bail out and see if they can find Fireflies, wanting to set up for that first round with Yang. They do end up surviving that situation, though. That Kylan ult just so good at peeling that V3 situation. Now, GG setting up for that first realm of Yang with JL. Is there going to be a head nod here? Now we're going to go back to the action of SR versus DRG. trying to make their way. No free Yang for you. No recovery yet. White armor, Wu Chen is going to be coming in. Kakaxi trying to go with the flank. Surrounded again. Another Viper ult is going to be coming down. Kakaxi trying to make his way onto the roof with the flank, but now his teammates stuck in a tough position, going to get staggered and absolutely melted. Don Q needs some help right now. The Kurumi ult's going to come in. He's going to try to make his way there. Sliding uppercut in, able to get picked up, but it's not going to matter. SR Zhao is going to take him down.
Oh, Kakashi, though, gets the Kurumi Tower. He's so incredibly close to having that ultimate, but the silence is going to mean that he doesn't get the opportunity to use it as we head into the first round of Yang. SS1 versus GG. Free already has one player in hand, but hasn't been able to put them to the floor because of the Farrier knockback from the cannons. Poor Free. Oh, the CC into the Justina freeze. Water throws out the counter, sets up the full hit of that Justina dash, followed up by the pulse sword swing. We said we wanted to see this composition realm of Yang. We're getting exactly what we asked for, and for poor GG, the dream has become a nightmare. Another Justina free. CGS loses a lot of that armor. Killing Guard still going to be in play. Xuan goes for the Justina F2, be able to keep himself alive and out of focus from the Cohen dashes for a little bit of time, but unfortunately the combo breaker is done, and so too is the invulnerability, and now GG just mass on top of the last player coming on through for SS1. Xuan gets interrupted before he can scale rush an engagement with the pulse sword, and we fade away into the open day as we all know that GG are going to be playing with their food and SS1 have lost.
Yeah, the GG ends up showing one of the weaknesses of the composition, just outlasts the ultimates. The amount of sustain that zipping heal brings when there isn't a Zai, GG makes quick work of it. It was very close though. You see the theory coming out. We saw almost an execution coming out, but the V1 is just too strong. Now we are going to see JL versus GG. Both of them have the red buff. One Fog wants to take the duel, immediately jumping onto 330. Both Monk ults around, both jumping around each other. Scoop going to come out from Fong, trying to knock 330 away. 330 now trying to jump onto Fong, trying to deny the situation, taking the Monk boxing duel, but One Fong again, immediately first grab, immediately scooping up CGS. Nice peel coming out from 330 to stop that second grab coming out, and again flying in trying to save his teammate, mashing out. CGS is able to survive the situation again. The fight continues right now. The Kylan of JL gonna pop it, mirrored by GG's Kylan. Phase 2 coming in. CGS with the Kylan. Nice big connect here, juggling three people. CGS looking for more follow-up. Ult's gonna be ended right now, but Cuckoo, JL's zipping is on the ropes right now. Big parry gonna come out from CGS, keeping the pressure on to Cuckoo. The V1 is ticking away right now, but it's not gonna matter. Too much damage is coming out, but LXM is down to low health. He is gonna eat the Soul Bloom and stabilize the situation. 3v2 right now. JL's Kylan doing his best to bring this back. 330 is low right now, but good job from GG to cover each other, trying to clean this up, but the zone is going to be coming in. JL's Kylan trying to make this last-ditch effort to pick off 330, doing his best, but the teamwork from GG is impeccable. They are going to close them out with the light attacks, and GG accepts the duel and ends up winning it.
I'm sure it will be a rematch that we'll see a little bit later down the line, but at the moment we're seeing all the teams with Yang depletion just massing over towards the dinner bell of that Forbidden Steel. They know a fight's taking place here. They don't have to take time scouting it out. Alliance comes on through, full commits on in to all of these teams. Matari Ultimate also comes into play, activated outside of that Forbidden Seal, so they can keep themselves active for just like that Temi Ultimate. And we are going to be seeing off of the back of those F resets, them being able to keep themselves finding those eliminations and pick up 2 Soul Blooms. They've got one more player to be able to cleanse, but SS1 have rolled on up into the mix. They showed up a little bit later, and Juan commits that Justina ultimate. They're looking for the freeze chain CEC. Water is taking all of this attention, has that Cheryl V1 to be able to tank the pressure. Yuma gets isolated into a 1 versus 1, and Water with the chase down, but no, the peel is there. stun dazzle out from his Syra prevents Water from sticking the fight and finding the elimination. He has been able to come on through with the halberds and provide enough time though for Zhuan to come on through with the LMB from that pole sword. But YZG comes in with a third party, and it's falling apart for the two teams with the debuff. By taking a fight against each other, they open themselves up to be assassinated by YZG. And I mean, YZG, the last time they were on this composition, they won a bi-weekly final off of the back of it. They played it absolutely perfectly. And Raven, that fight was absolutely textbook.
Yeah, up to 6 kills already. SR up to 5, but it doesn't look like YZG is going to end it right here. They're finding one of Alliance's members, Revenge, here under the tower. Trying to clean this up. One charge parry is going to come out from Revenge, trying to fade out, but it's not going to carry. YZG too clean with it, not going to release a rogue blue and possibly give an opening to come back. Now we're going to get OA's Tut with the Kylan ult, juggling SR right now inside zone, but Junks again with a parry, with the sap, turning it around. Wait a second, we thought we could throw a blue on the back of the crowd control coming out from OA's Kylan, but it's not gonna matter. Junks spotting the open frame, spotting a great location, gets that parry, gets the sap with a gold spear, and brings the pain of that big damage.
I mean, this legendary sphere has actually had a storied existence in this lobby of Hollow. The reason why SR turned back on to DRG was because SR lost Jin X. Rika was able to witch and teleport everybody out, but in the meantime, Jun X had the spear on his body. So DRG looted the spear before the witch could teleport the Cairn away, and then had, for the Transformer team, the legendary spear equipped, and immediately SR turned back onto them, knowing the Tianhai and Kirumi ultimates were down, and they wanted that legendary spear back, because that's the only way they would have been able to get a weapon of that rarity at that stage in the game, without having to go into someone like Ram of Yang, which typically that composition is an absolute nightmare at being able to win. JL and GG now going to be going head to head. We said it was going to be a rematch. We get to see it right here. Frufrio goes for the scoop to prevent the slam down onto CJS. Goes for the knockback onto Wanfeng as well, so he can't find a reverb. But in the meantime, the scoop from Wanfeng's already been able to find another player, and Frufrio is going lower and lower. The knockback from the other monk prevents Frufrio from stabilizing up onto that pillar. He's pushed back onto the floor to eat more damage pressure coming on through from the players below. Xiao Xiao with this fan absolutely frying the feet of this Tianhai before he comes in, swapping over to that legendary weapon to scale up the Kylan V2, and the dash down begins. GG looking for an isolated target. Have they been able to find one? They turn. The bell has already been invested from the other Tianhai, and CJS has to utilize his combo breaker to escape out of the way of the still going Kylan ultimate, and unfortunately he's out of dashes. He's out of zip sustain to keep himself up, and JL have the numbers advantage to finish this fight through.
Wow, clutch play from JL. GG is actually way more scaled to JL, and they find an execution onto the Kylan, able to sustain that heal. Big parry's gonna come out. I spoke too soon. Wait a second. 330 is bringing this back. Big damage gonna come out from LXM. The zipping of GG, getting a nice follow, but now one of them's gonna fall. 2v2 situation. It was looking like a wrap-up, but now JL against the ropes right now. Momentum going in 330's favor. 330 has his monk ult up now. He's able to land a parry onto Kylan and then turn it onto Cuckoo. 20 seconds left. He doesn't want to pop this monk ultimate. It's going to be a win or tie in this situation. Assassin's Lunch is going to be coming out, and JL is going to fall. They had GG against the ropes. We spoke too soon. They end up clutching it. Great parry coming out from 330 to bring it back from the depths, Moxie.
Oh my goodness, he had that Assassin's Lunch and he kept it real quiet. The trump card came out, the parry came through, and like you said, Frufrio, he knew with the rushdown of that dagger as well as the backup that LXM would have to provide this dagger for him to be able to commit into that without the worry of parry. And now YZG with a Draco Storm are going to be forcing, who is it, Bowda, to have to witch and teleport out of the mix. But unfortunately for Bowda, I think no matter where they go, someone's got a bounty scroll on their head currently. As we can see, the red circle is going to be following ZZT's location. So no matter where this Wu Chen runs, eventually they will be able to close up the distance with full understanding of where he's going to be kiting to, throwing out that Tesla ultimate just to make sure that they confirm that kill without getting ran into one of these other teams showing on up with either a Realm of Yang debuff who are going to be taking a fight or a Realm of Yang buff who are going to be more than happy to take a fight because of the scaling discrepancy between the two of them.
We were talking about it before, Moxie, that it's light work for GG to get multiple 20-point games, and I've seen them drop massive games on Holleroth with less kills going into endgame, and they're already up to 10 kills with that clutch. The threshold for MVP is 63 points. They are just 10 points away. Bauda's Jing is going to get juggled by Junks, and we're seeing that gold spear still at work at the hands of Junks, coming out with that RMB, absolutely decimating them. JL desperately looking for someone to kill in all these bushes. We see a team overlooked. Unfortunate for JL, they aren't going to sniff that out. Now, they do have a lot more time, 3 minutes, 20 seconds to find someone. You can either opt to wait for the buffs to end in this situation or immediately search for one of these fights. Now, ideally, you do want to just fight against the other Yang depletion teams, but they might be running into the Draco Storm of GG, which is the least ideal situation. Now, I'm not going to lie, Moxie, I feel like in a lot of these instances, GG actually doesn't want to commit towards a Yang depletion teams. That's why you see them here on the outskirts checking every nook and cranny. They really want to find a very, very underscale team, a very scuffed team with blue armor, and try to pick off some solos and duos in this spots so they can secure this end game. But we'll have to see as things progress. JL, on the other hand, they are going to find SR. They got to be careful of Junks, though, with that gold spear.
Not just the gold spear, but also we've got a legendary fan. There's the Tesla ultimate coming in for Jin with the 1-2 light attacks from that spear. One Fang does manage to iframe the CC with that Tianhai ultimate activation. However, the Wu Chan is going to be able to be called into play, and this is unfortunate for JL because they have to continue the chase. 2 minutes and 16 seconds. They invested the Kylan ultimate at the same time as the Tianhai too. As we head over towards Pinnacle Town, and we can see YZG and what they've gotten up to. They were coming in with Draco Storm. They've since lost that buff, but they're still finding the eliminations that they were looking for. TXJ charges up that skill rush. We'll be able to find the elimination onto ASE's Zhao Wen. They're going to be waiting out as well that Syra ultimates come on through from Han before they start moving on over to that body mist. What about potentially going for the pickup? However, here's JL rolling up into the mix, still having that Yang depletion, and SR stir the pot, throw out that Tesla ultimate into all of the mass of players currently clumped on up into this position, and it is going to be a really good opportunity for JL to come through and maybe play off of some of the havoc. There it is. One Soul Bloom picked up. Zhao isolated, sent tumbling off of the cliff with the connection from that Pulse Sword. The next Pulse Sword Scourge connection looks to be taken onto that Wu Chan. Viper now comes on through with that V3. Juna with that legendary spear, starting to put the damage and work into the Hellfires, and Zhao will fall off of the back of that F2. Silence actually being able to do the damage necessary to clean up the elimination. YZG, TXJ keeping the fight going, playing off of all of the attention that SR brought to them, being able to find the assassination. As in the meantime, GG and Wolves fighting over a spirit wall, just taking a free versus free, essentially in their own bubble.
Yeah, Xiphon versus Transformers right now, but Wolves is going to be showing up to the party as well with the GG. Ults are going to be invested. This is very, very risky. If another team rolls up and sees this fight, they are going to be vulnerable. All the ultimates have been invested. Both teams are all in for the situation. CJS wants Wolves to know we will be going down for this Spirit Wall. We want to have a massive game. We want to get to that MVP right here, right now. But unfortunately, 3-3-0 is going to overextend and end up going down for that. They are going to give this up and try to back off. And Wolves is going to end up being the victor in this situation. Tough spot for GG, up to 10 kills right now, but I believe they do have enough money for this res. So as long as they navigate this safely, I've seen GG come back in the situations where they come out swinging for these end games.
I mean, at the moment, all of the other teams' attention in the lobby is not really on them. As SR, Alliance, YZG still all taking this fight. Here comes GG rolling on up into the mix that they're going to have to navigate into all of these players. They have no information as well which teams have committed ultimates, and that's always a problem when you run into Tessa, given the fact that she gets 2 charges of her ultimate, essentially at 120% rage. GG 330 still not brought back. CJS and LXM trying to just find a safe passage to navigate through. Gonna have to evict Alliance if they want to be able to break away. Yuma is currently kiting them a little bit closer to where the rest of the team are, also potentially trying to run them into YZG to offer GG up as a tasty morsel for YZG to turn on to and allow Alliance to break a little bit more free. Yuma is going to get caught up into the 1-2 jump horizontal juggle coming on out. The synergy that evident in full from GG. They did not let Yuma's feet touch the floor before he was put into the dirt.
Absolute cinema, Moxie. There's just 2v3, a scuffed Alliance right there, but still, they do have enough money to buy their teammate back. I don't believe I see a store on the minimap in this location where they can buy, so unlucky to them to not have their third teammate to secure this. And Wolves, oh my goodness, we got Draco Storm, we got all gold armors on everyone, gold weapon. They are looking like the favorites to take this with only 12 people left alive. I'm going to find it hard for them to overextend the situation. They are going to find the Wu Chen of, I believe, SR Rico getting staggered over and over. The AoE of the Draco Storm, nowhere left to go. But we've seen Moonbane's grief before. Wolves should be careful right now. They don't want to test fate sitting in this end game of Moonbane, and it looks like YZG and GG both hiding in this corner right now. Who's going to be the unlucky person to get spotted out? And it looks like it is going to be GG's. LXM going to use his F to dodge through, but ZK is going to stay on top of him with the staggers, juggling the zipping of GG. LXM doing his best to get out of the situation. The Spirit Wall is going to be popping up. GG not going to be able to get out of this situation, but it looks like a third party is going to be coming in, trying to take advantage of the chaos. And NHQ, the Matari of Wolves, in an interesting position. It looks like they're going to slow down and stabilize and try to go for the center, but CJS's Kylan, the GG's Kylan, is going to contest this in a 2v3. He does not care. He's going to pop ult and go to work.
Yeah, they're gonna pop all, and they're gonna use those staggers to interrupt Aurora Burst before he can proc in full. Jun X, now that enough time has been spent, has been able to put himself into a position of that spiral. Comes on through with that Viper V3, just buying himself a little bit of safety, as well as forcing out some of those hard-pressed ultimates for a lot of these other teams, keeping the spirit wall in play even longer, giving them an opportunity. But Wolves doubling back in, still have ZK's Zai V2 to rely on to. They're still not getting this Spirit Well for free, though. They are going to have to pay a toll of ultimates if they want to cycle back in. Night HQ has to be protected by ZK V2 because he got enchanted by that Tesla ultimate, and Wolves have to back away, lick their wounds, and look for a reset opportunity, as off of the back of that Tesla ultimate from QGG, YZG now established themselves into the Spirit Well. We've got Clyde Weaver coming on through from CXZ, getting to play into that position 2 position, making sure that no one can get close enough to try and intrude onto TXA, who with this cannon is building up that Viper V3 at max speeds. And here it comes. Dome has popped. No safety from any of the range pressure coming on through. The silence effect connects onto so many of these players, and YZG continue to just put on the pressure with Draco Storm still getting to give them additional AoE damage, as well as a second Viper V3, which TXA can just use to keep the staff swings going.
Yeah, nice job from the squad of YZG to steal this away. They were definitely outgunned in that situation, but because of GG's duo still staying in the fight, still trying to win this all, Wolves actually gets forced off with all the gold armor. A little bit complacent with this gameplay. 10 people left alive. They have to cinch this up and secure this round. They are up to 4 kills right now. So as long as YZG stays consistent, they should be able to steal this away and get another big MVP round. It looks like YZG's best composition so far this year is this Viper composition. They have a really, really good dial on the back of TXA when they should take, put their pedal to the metal, put the gas on, go for some kills, and when to slow down and play the teams against each other. And I gotta say, Moxie, I will be blown away if GG somehow is able to clutch out this endgame.
I mean, if they get those ranking points and kills can multiply, they go up to 63 points and they become a team on match point. They're picking apart teams. So you can see the ranged weapons are out in CJS's hands so that he can try and steal away some of those kills, get the elimination points fed into his team's scoreline. Tesla Enchantment is going to connect onto ZK, which is going to lead into the follow-up fan damage coming on through. CJS now, Stormstride, as a Soul Jade, puts himself onto the cliffside. He and LXM taking a little bit of downtime, looting through some of these bodies. Potentially going to be a 3 versus 2 situation, but S are already down to 2 players. Shooting down all of his armor. Jared's getting lower and lower. YZG look for the opportunity, but CJS finds the intrusion. Invades with a jump parry coming on through from the Kylan. Out comes the Kylan V2. The dashes. LXM's popping the zip ultimate so that his health bar is going to keep refreshing further and further, and he can utilize the knockback on the after effects to send these players tumbling into the zone. Wuchen teleport gets forced. GG in the driver's seat. Have to confirm some of these eliminations. They could very well be the team that walks away the MVP. They just have to finish it here and now.
CJS doing his best to secure these kills, but YZG doing a good job of icing off the pressure, but the parry's going to come out from CJS. Double parry coming out, triple parry coming out, but SR's Zhao is going to yoink that kill away right now. 12 kills for GG, picking up another one, up to 13 kills. They need to secure this round. YZG is going to be eliminated right now. They are going to be able to get the placement points. Zhao in a tough position round, 2v1 situation, no health to his name. He is going to get the Tesla hold, a little bit of heals. A big parry's going to come out. That's the first step, but the gold combo break is going to come out from CGS. The stagger is going to come out. LXM going for a ride with the Dragon Slayer from behind. Blindside parry. Wait a second, but the all is going to come out from CGS. He is going to shove out Zhao. He needs to be able to get this last hit. The F is going to be coming out. Can he survive? No, he cannot. And oh my goodness, Moxie GG is somehow able to clutch it out again in this endgame, and it's gonna be real close of whether or not they pass the threshold to possibly MVP and close out the tournament for today.
Big on multiplier. Big on multiplier. It was by a whisker. By a fox's whisker that Tesla goes down before zone closes through. Oh,
let's go through how things gonna go down, and awesome, we are gonna get GG versus Wolves off spawn.
LXM already been able to pick up the staff. Everyone just picking up a weapon. We can actually see Free unfortunately hasn't been able to find anything, and that is not the opener that GG wanted. CJS comes on through with the Tesla combo break. LXM comes on through with the golden frame focus of that staff. Cyrospace is out of it with the stun dazzle, and it actually catches LXM on that hit of CC. Tesla ultimate though from CJS at the 60% rage generation mark is thrown into the mix, and that opens up the fight entirely. Unfortunately, it is not going to be a 2 versus 1. No, GG are able to finish off that fight and keep their Wuchen's rebirth still in play. Enough time passes that they're able to pick the body up as we look over now at OA versus SS1.
OA down. Always Tut down to 1 HP, but able to capitalize. Eats the Soul Bloom, bringing it back. Gonna pop that V3, but Matari is gonna match, denying the pressure of this stun. Comet is gonna come out, and the dasher from the Matari. Meng again with the big parry, just parries all day from Meng, showing up big, and again a double parry one more time. Wait a second, check the computer. My man's going crazy with the parries today.
Oh, and he's got the nunchucks too for that just immediate hit of damage off of that one frame. Alliance and JL now going head to head. NY7 getting the grapple. Isn't able to stop the scarers coming on from Cuckoo with this great sword, who's going to take to the rooftops and try and disengage, but the jump horizontal will be able to catch him before he can clamber over that windowsill, and it's going to bag another elimination for Alliance. And these are eliminations going on down in Imperium. Raven, we might get to see the extreme longsword spawn up. Well, never mind, they're all running away from it. I think they all noticed. They were like, a couple of too many eliminations are going down in the staircase. We can't afford to let this one go through. Time to disengage and cut away.
Oh no, Baby U is going to get fiended down by Alliance, but nice kiting down. Like I was saying before, the modern Takeda absolutely pressured by everyone. Nice parry coming out from U, fading out, calling out the chase down focus attack. NY7 comes flying in though. The F2 damage is just so much. He grabs the soul bloom, but the healing debuff not letting him get a ton of heals. The Temiol's going to come out for the peel. NY7 now with a big parry, trying to navigate, trying to close out the distance of U, but SS is going to peel off perfectly for him, and Alliance gets picked apart by excellent teamwork play from SS and U. Just two of their ultimates with the Syra ultimate still on deck just in case.
Very aggressive lobby with a lot of these kills also being very evenly split between the teams. You can see that OA have been able to get their hands onto Valpoint Essence, so 7 Thunder Coins deposited into the bank beneath Arcadia to be able to bag up that Soul Jade and set themselves up. I like to see as well they're taking it away from compositions which could potentially use it into Realm of Yang, but also they're taking it away from GG, who could potentially have landed there to steal it away to be able to win the healer situation and confirm that kills can multiply, which would have given them that MVP eligibility in full. Now we're going to head over towards Azov Peak and have a look at Wolves and also JL, who are nearby each other, but not actively taking a fight. So instead it's going to be SS1 doing a little bit of footsie around the table with OA, trying to figure out whether or not this is a fight that they want to be able to take. That Matari does not have ultimate fully, and Tutek ready to go with that Viper V3. Could be the engagement ticket that OA are looking for, but with them kiting out, it feels like they're going to be looking at a different part of the map as an objective, given the fact that SS1 have already been able to armor themselves up with 2 sets of Epic.
SS1 super stacked right now. Purple armor on the Matari, purple armor on the Zai, setting up for that first Realm of Yang, hoping to slow down GG, but little does the lobby know, GG is actually playing Viper for this lobby, so everyone definitely on notice. Now, something I didn't think about is GG doesn't really have to just MVP the round. If it goes the distance, they can just win by points. They're basically securing second place as well. So the most consistent line they can actually take is not really force the issue. If they MVP this round, cool. But if anything, just kind of play normal. It's really the rest of the lobby who has to really consider what GG is doing here. And it looks like GG is going to purchase that Moonbane. Instead of being able to get the weapons, you see how quickly those weapons and armor sell out.
Yeah, that armor just boom, gone.
Even the weapons, because there's so many siphons in the lobby, so many transformers, weapons and armor usually get bought out to the point where teams actually have a designated clicker where there's like, all right, who has the money? This person's the luckiest. If Moxie was in there, she would 100% give him the money just of how lucky she is. Just spam that click, Moxie. Get us the armor. And it's not based on ping or anything. It's pure RNG of who ends up getting it. I haven't figured out any type of tech that goes into it. Ping doesn't seem to matter. Lower ping, higher ping. It's just whoever is the luckiest ends up spamming click with the amount of money to pick up that armor or weapon.
Wow. Maybe you can buff it with the luck factor on the glyph tree. Who knows? As we're going to be having a look at GG wanting to pick up a little bit of momentum. Unfortunately, like you said, they weren't able to come and prove the purple armor. So the best way to get loot isn't from a Rift Dealers, it's from a shakedown from a dead team's body. Full commitment comes on our Viper ultimate, but Syra has also been able to get that V1 into play. It's going to be put on pause for a matter of moments. The Moonbane tier from GG is going to be making this fight incredibly awkward for OUG to be able to hold on to. But because they're running Sand Siphon and the Syra ultimate is still in in the mix without getting CC dive further. OUG feel the confidence to be able to keep the fight running, and they're going to be able to bag up 2 eliminations. GG just able to make it with the Wuchen teleport to get a revive, but unfortunately they've been spotted out. Peripheral has to body block for LXM, who gets brought back, but low enough that OUG could snipe him down with the repeating crossbow. So the Wuchen steps up, absorbs a little bit more damage to be able to pick CJS back up again. And GG, unfortunately, denied the loot upgrades they were looking for, and that was a hefty investment from the team, not just in terms of ultimates, but the Moonbane Charm too.
Yeah, unfortunate for OUG, they get their Yang grief from them just because they have to pop all their ultimates. And this is what I was saying before, Moxie, the new Syra compositions. If you force them to triple ult, it is extremely devastating. They can burn you down just as fast as you can. With how offensive Syra's ult is, we are going to get SR versus Bauda right outside of Yang. SR trying to make their way towards there, popping that zipping ultimate, but it doesn't look like OA is going to let them go out for free. No ult zone is going to be hit. They're going to make their way into it so they don't get forced out in ultimates, playing out this neutral, but inside the middle, Bauda is here at the store. A little bit of a salute as they pass through, just passing through, looking for the armor, but it looks like Bauda, Jing just letting them know we ain't friends like that. Both teams, a little bit of pettiness, grappling onto each other, moving through, and the Tesla is going to come through. Wait a second, Parry's going to come out. Does SR go in? How do you coordinate who goes in right now? The Viper stun is out. They don't go in at the same time. It ends up locking out, and OA is able to take advantage of the Yang situation and pick up a kill.
Oh, the V3, the Viper V3, Realm of Yangrave. You can't go in, and you can't iframe out of the silence with the Tianhai ultimate. OA play it perfectly, and unfortunately for SR, they find themselves losing their Tianhai, getting their Kylan enchanted by a Tessa ultimate into a jabbing follow-up from T-Tick with that staff. And we get to have a look and see who did manage to make it through that grief tunnel into the Realm of Yang. And unfortunately for Sleepy T, he's still getting griefed right now. He's in the Tianhai form, and he's not able to find a grab until just now. He's not going to get staggered either by the Syra or by the Farrier in time, so ZK is actually going to go down because of the lack of peel. Tianhai state now has been removed. We go into a 3 versus 2 format, and Sleepy T tries to come on through, setting up these RMBs from the Hong Sun. Goes for the parry, but the Overhold will be able to get the pass through it. And now with that F1 having been invested, it's up to the Tianhai to get the scale rush set up into the horizontal uppercut confirmation into the RMB, and about to find the turnaround.
Bauda's just letting everyone know Transformers still dominant versus these Cannonball variations. We saw it leading up into the bi-weekly finals. The Justina Cannonball variation having a good chance of frying the Monk, but the delay ult rotation coming out big today. The longer you're able to hold out the ult, the better that secondary offensive ult comes out and is able to clean up. Now on to DRG versus OA. Fade away fry from Meng. This team better watch out. Meng has been on fire with the parries. With that being said, Syra ult's going to be invested. No parry needed. We're just going to be beaming away, getting that knockup up, but OA is going to grapple out with the Wuchen port. They still have one more Tessa ult in the bank, making their way down the cliff. It looks like DRG is in hard pursuit right now. Can you catch up, though? This is one of the tough spots that, depending on whether or not you have grapple distance and speed, is whether or not you can actually catch one of these teams. Also, how many grapples you actually have. Looking at Donq's inventory, we're out of grapples. It's a painful feeling to be chasing around everyone with no grapples.
GG are our next participants of the NBPL triathlon here on Padoria. As they unfortunately have blue armor, they're going to be paying very close attention to that Mocha River, which is going to be providing floating piles as well as that stealth option to be able to duck below the water's edge. However, this is the most volatile that this map is going to be immediately after a Realm of Yang. And this is going to be really dangerous for GG. They have to be able to survive the after effects of 2 teams, 2 iterations of the Realm of Yang. This is their first true test. if they can keep themselves alive and unnoticed with all of the sets of blue armor that they have available to them. As on the outskirts of the map, we're going to be seeing the teams with Yang depletion spawn on up and immediately take a fight against each other. Wolves and SS1 ring the bell, and the fight begins.
ZK on the Justina, getting it fried from behind. Matara ult's going to be invested. ZK looking for the flank angle, letting their team's Syra lead the charge, trying to bait out more cooldowns. Zuan doing a good job of kiting this Syra or making his way around this cliffside over and over. Zuan burning majority of this Syra ult, but now ZK is going to show up. But wait a second. We got water on the high ground on the ballista. He is going to get sniped off for a second. That support, the mortars from long range, forcing Wolves back. Now, this is a tough situation. They have to find a commitment here, but making their way into zone, they want to avoid fighting that ballista. Now we're on to round 2, and it's like do or die, Moxie. We're just going to duke this one out in zone.
I mean, they have to be careful too, because if they put Forbidden Seal, yeah, there it is, always in the area with the Tesla Viper Wu Chen, and they can absolutely play gatekeeper when this fight breaks apart. Both of these teams, by trying to survive, might grief each other out of the existence of the lobby. ZK looks for a Dragon Slayer's opening, will not be able to find it off of that clank, and we're now going to be seeing him try to find it, but again, the overhold sets up the RMB from the Halberds to clip in first. He doesn't manage to find the commitment. Again, he goes for the overhold of the RMB, and again he gets interrupted by a faster release, this time from the fan RMB, as we maneuver our position. The reason why we're turning onto this fight from Imperium is because it's involving YZG, but not just that. GG are in the area as well, and this might be where they can start to look to just take advantage of the teams with Yang depletion if they've taken a note of the heroes that died when they lost a Realm of Yang fight. They're going to have an idea that a Sand Siphon composition is going to be hit with Yang depletion, and if they just swap over to something like a musket as that depletion is about to time out, they'll be able to claim both the elimination and the loot that drops without putting themselves directly at risk of all of the fighting that's going on between DRG, YZG, and another team currently in the middle, JL.
TXJ with the Cyber all popping the orbs, looking for the stagger onto Cuckoo. Tessa is going to be coming out, forcing TXJ back, but 24 seconds left. He needs to find an opening for his team. He needs to find the Soul Bloom. There's not much time left. DRG is looking out to camp in the zone. Kakaxi does not want to give this up, but JL on the high ground going to be spotting out these teams fighting in zone. Unlucky for YZG. They're going for the last hit right now in order to secure this. It doesn't look like YZG has enough money for the situation, and all of them are going to fall, and DRG on the outside is going to be able to fade the pressure. Now, unlucky for them, JL was watching on the outside, spots the situation, and is more than happy to go win there and find the kill. DRG's Kakaxi is going to fall. They are going to find the res, but JL is like, wait a second, where are the teammates? They do spot them leaving. We are going to go into the Realm of Yang and watch OUG versus SS1.
OUG a little bit more scaled up. Legendary weapon in the hands of one of them. Shinny looks for the drop down, slam down, denying that pillar with the spear. RMB goes for the scale rush, sets up the 1-2, forces that Matari ultimate, even commits the third actually. Now the Matari ultimate and the Zai ultimate's about to come on through. Shinny commits that Zyra V1, and we start to go into the blunder. SS tries to create a pocket of safety for the players from OUG, but remember, Zyra Beam gets to go through it, so now the pressure has to be put out onto the other Syra coming on through from SS1's Water. They've been able to take down one. Water gets stunned out by the other Syra who had that V1 a little bit longer, and the stun dazzle will be able to connect, as will the scale rush into the 1-2-3. We commit it. We've got our combo breaker. We don't care if it gets parried. OUG are full sending it. Looks for the parry, doesn't manage to find it, but SS1 have been reduced to just Water, and this is long past boiling point, as OUG are going to kite this one out and be able to claim the elimination.
Indeed, past boiling point, Moxie. Baby you and OUG super scaled up, and OUG, we talk about GG's Siphon, but OUG last year had, I believe, one of the biggest points games on the back of their Siphon on Holoroth. now in 2023 with Baby U, just because his Cicada is so strong. He's one of the premier fighters inside trios. Now, we still can't count out GG. I'm curious where the points are, but it's not looking good for GG in order to MVP this round. We are most likely going to a game 5. Now, there's still a lot of Yang depletion situations carrying out. They do have the blue buff to navigate this, but OUG is up to 15 kills and Bauda is up to 12 kills. Both of these teams absolute juggernauts on opposite sides. I'm hoping to see a good fight between these two teams as this end game kind of navigates, but it's going to be really tough for GG to scale up from this situation. Now, we have seen in the past Viper teams picking their spots perfectly, assassinating one of these very, very strong teams who overextends, and then now suddenly they pick up a ton of loot. So I still cannot write out GG, but it's looking like OUG or Bauda are the favorites to take this lobby.
It's looking like we're gonna get a Soul Altar fight immediately off of the rip between SS1 and ASE. ASE, who went into Realm of Yang with a Viper composition, which is always going to be harder to pull off because of the pillars being able to block LOS. And speaking of by blocking, this Viper's being blocked from her entire team right now. There's the Justina dashing up for it. It was a bait, and Juan fell for it. And unfortunately, neither Sai, hit by that silence, doesn't have access to the F2 to reposition. The Matori is going to be able to ult, is going to give a little bit of restoration coming on through for Juan to try and live. But even though you're invisible, you're not impervious to damage, nor the stuns coming on through from the onslaught of stun dazzles that ASE's Han is putting Juan currently under. This side has not got to play a single bit of that fight, and off of the back of that one, ASE have the numbers advantage. They just have to make sure that they do not misplay the situation, miscommits the LMB once and twice to be able to take down Zuan. Here comes SR potentially looking for a third party. Poison Splash is going to sound on off, showcasing that SS1 are going to lose another of their players. And it's now potentially going to be a third-party situation for SR to come through and capitalize off of all of the ultimates that ASE just committed. Although Justina, I do believe, was able to cancel her ultimate a little bit early to retain around about 40% of that rage bar, as well as grab one of those soul blooms. So it's not quite the out-of-ultimate bank that SR were looking to take advantage of, and it seems like they're just going to look to grab the loot instead.
SR, I don't think saw how many cooldowns were invested there. They're more than happy to force him off the loot, get that triple purple alloy, considering their transformers, and now their game is recovered. There's 23 people left alive going into this end game. Draco Storm is on Bauda right now. So Bauda definitely in the driving seat, trying to pick off the last remaining stragglers. But only DRG has some stragglers running around, having a tough day so far, but still, a lot of these teams are very, very close in that 37-38 margin. So with GG not powering through, not be able to MVP this round, it's really up for these teams to really climb to catch up to where they are. And OUG was already on top of the leaderboard. So with this win, we may have two teams MVP eligible by the end of this round.
Well, we can have a look and see a replay of one of those Realm of Yang fights we didn't get to see. CZT on top of that pillar, goes for the Tianhai state, looks for the grabs at the same time as the Gem invests that Kylan ultimate, gets one grab into the Kylan dash follow through. XCM does get stun dazzled into the Justina freeze follow up as well. Ujaren committing another of those dashes, but if you're dashing onto that Kylan, you're not dashing onto the Transformer, and that means the ZZT is able to find another grab, another slam, and another follow up of that Kylan V2 into another grab. This monk has been able to find so much value with the Kylan just taking all of the brunt of attention. Steps up into the plate, invests that Tianhai F1 to be able to cover his teammates to find that recovery. And Bauda off of the back of that one, were able to find the spacing and eliminations to live through the CC chain potential of that Justina ultimate coming on out. And it's bagged themselves a very tasty lot of loot, as well as soul jades, which they're going to need if they want to be able to stick the landing of this spirit well. GG yet again content to stir the pot. CJ as throws out that Tesla ultimate to chase these teams away and force out these resources early, as they want to just burn as many teams as possible right now so they can get a little bit more in terms of the ranking points.
Bauda's XCMs has fallen right now, but we're gonna have to see on the back of Jing and ZZT, can they bring this back? Multiple teams showing up though. The Spirit Well fight is going down, and we see GG trying to get in there, trying to get active. Big Port's gonna be coming out, safe from everyone else. Back to the action though. ASC's missed. Gonna pop that V1 stun, forcing out another team, but look who's coming in. OUG, baby, you like a wrecking ball with the pulse sword. Temiolt's gonna be cutting down the middle of this. They're investing everything, but the silence is coming out. ASC is not gonna give this up freely, but SR's Zhao diving in, getting the monk grab, and then standing still, letting everyone in the lobby fry his opponent down. SR able to pick up another skill, but on the outside, GG on match point, gonna find a nice kill here onto the retreating OU or OA. PP down to 1 HP. Tessa ult's gonna be coming down. Wu Chen's PP getting out of the distance, but not able to follow up. Oh, actually he does. 1 HP. He's able to get out of there. OA's peel with the jabbing, able to exchange it, taking down LXM, and for sure, we are going on to the next round, Moxie.
Yeah, GG suddenly reduced to just the one player. Spiritwell still has not been capped. BBU and Jinyu both in the path of a Kylan V2. Spiritwell, dome drops. OUG not out of the woods just yet and being able to control it, but looking at the minimap, all of the other teams around them have receded, and it looks like the flag has been waved. OUG will be able to pick up the buff, and now it's just a matter of kiting it out for as long as possible so they can take advantage of it to set up into the one that comes afterwards. Han with the slam down RMB from that spear to the F1 into the return slam down is going to get caught out by JL's Cuckoo, who's able to keep a track of where that Sire had ended up and will be able to revive his teammate unless he gets interrupted. OUG now having picked up that Draco Storm, see the Forbidden Seal, and the dinner bell has been rung, and OUG want a seat at the table.
Yeah, OUG triple gold armor on the Siphon composition, coming in hot. You with the stagger, SS with the follow-up, with the kill. These guys, no fear with the Draco Storm, just taking every fight. Zhao on the Monk, though, is going to pop it. They're going to start cooking at his feet. Already a quarter of his health immediately deleted right now. They're going to fade out. Nice grab coming out from Zhao, looking for the double grab from another team, but he's already down to half health. The rest of the lobby is going to be burning him down. Right on the edge of this no ult zone, and baby, you and XCM gonna chop down at him, and it looks like Baldo is gonna steal the kill from Zhao. Woo-hoo! A little bit of an overheat situation. OUG's SS gonna get taken down really low, forced to pop the Tenmi ult, and now they're gonna kind of slow down, take things easy, get a bit looted up. They still have that Syra ult online just in case they get all in, but still, a little bit of an overheat right here. OUG wants to secure this win, but with that situation, with that kill steal, Bauda is now tied. Both these teams have 16 kills going into the last 12 people of the lobby.
They found a Tessa hiding inside a purple bush, and OUG now have to get that ultimate as well as interact with that soul urn so that they don't get enchanted into potentially walking into a Moonbane. Regardless, I think Jinyu eats another hit of that Moonbane. Poor OUG have been targeted from perfectly by those random AoE splashes. Rico, we can see up on that left side, was denied the revive opportunity due to OUG double backing over to the body that had been dropped to pick up some of those resources that they had to utilize and expend to keep that Sammy healed up and safe. And because they were chasing down some of those eliminations, they're now not in a better position to prevent Bida from setting up on the Spirit Well, and even with Draco Storm, Baby U goes down beneath the double slam damage. SS is also brought low enough. And we talked about the overheat situation. The fact that the Temi was forced into popping that ultimate has fed into the cards that OUG had to play in this situation. They got so aggressive in trying to keep the Spirit Well in play, even without that Temi ultimate, that they just fall prey to the double grabs from the other TNI.
Yeah, big capitalization out of Bauda. This is going to be climbing up the leaderboard right now, but unfortunately, they might have to give up the Spirit Well as JL makes a move right now with the V1 stun, but Bauda's XCM is going to fall right now. down to a 2v3 situation. ZZT trying to stay on the inside, but JL is going to scoop the buff, get a refresh on all of their ultimates. The blue buff is going to make it impossible to run. ZZT trying to make his way out of there, investing his bell, but nowhere left to go. The focus fire just overwhelming him, suffocating him here, and now JL with the momentum, with the blue buff, able to spot all these stragglers out. They're going to find Bowda's Jing as well, trying to hide out in the situation. Unlucky for Bowda. They are going to fall, but OUG now is still here. Xinyu, what are the chances he's able to make it to the last little bit? There's no way. There's 3 minutes left. 2 solos left. Xinyu just trying to outlast, just trying to survive, but nowhere to go. B1's going to be invested. Meng is going to get grappled, not able to get into zone, not able to deny the hit. F1 is going to come out. Tessal's going to come out. Nowhere left to go, and JL is going to clean this up with 9 kills, but I don't believe that's enough to steal away the MVP of the round. It looks like JL was it JL?
OUG.
OUG.
Oh no, Bowda. OUG were coming in with so many eliminations and like a second place, or rather a third place with their Syra because OA's Meng was able to survive the second, but Viper, Tesla, Wuchan going to be looking for a third-party timing attack. No surprises where they're landing. City of Tang, where they're thinking that they're going to be able to run into multiple teams at each other's throats. Unfortunately for them, there's only one team that's going to be landing here. And now here is the fight that is going to determine the tempo of the rest of this lobby. GG versus ASE. Who comes out on top? CGS has already got his hands on a weapon. He's trying to take a 2 versus 1. Out comes the Takeda F. No blues can be thrown. Turns around. Has bought time for the peel to come through from his Syra. And there it is. The stun dazzle into Takeda F1 over the shoulder. Dodges out of the way of the comet, but that eats up the stamina bar. And ASE gets the turnaround with Mist making a huge play. Gets a huge parry into the bow swap. This is falling apart for GG.
Wow. ASA looked like they were going to fall apart due to the Takeda Slam, but they bring it back with the back of the Wild R&B hitting 2 GG members. OA against Bowda, though, against the wall. The staggers coming out. ZZT and Jing able to close it out and making quick work again. Bowda picking up where they left off with their Transformers. Can they keep up that momentum? Can they close the distance and catch up to that 63-point threshold? Now, GG, even though they died there, it can make their way to the north. As long as you die very early, it actually sets yourself up a better position to recover. The faster you take that first fight, the easier it is to get to the loot first and recover your game.
Yeah, OUG, though, they're going to be very happy. They don't need to recover their game. They got the 3 eliminations off of the bat that they wanted into City of Tang. So they'll be able to have all of their position to loot on through and scale on up to potentially third party in on some of these other teams into the area. ASE still hungry for more eliminations, having won against GG, going to be committing on through. On with that Tyra V1 is going to hold on to it, pulls it out. Now the Kylan is going to be coming on through with that V2, potentially disrupting the Syra. ZZT is looking for the grabs. The second that he does find one, the Siren might be able to find the full hit of Stagger, but not if Han is the one currently in the palm of Sleepy T's hand. No stun, no knockback potential. Han has to utilize the last bit of his ultimate to space away from the fray, get a little bit of distance, pull one armor powder through, and set up a Moonbane charm directly onto an ultless Bowda team.
Bowda's XEM down to his last little bit.
Oh, XEM is gonna go down beneath the Dragon Slayers into that Nessus, and ASE just have to clean up the matter now. Stoneform gets committed onto no one on ASE's side. We're ready for that commitment. They all get hit by the horizontal haymaker, and now off of the back of that one, they take a little bit of chip damage to the armor, but still find the elimination that they're looking for. As we can see that further north, GG are up to their familiar shenanigans. They revive, they head over towards Imperial, and they start looting through the terrain that no one actually has been able to pick clean because everyone knew that GG would be in the area already.
NY7 has full blue armor, setting up for this first Rumble Yang. All you need for the first Rumble Yang is really purple ult for your Takeda. The Moonbane on deck to secure this first Rumble Yang. It's always very tempting when you have that first Moonbane to kind of use it on a team for some extra kills before that first Rumble Yang. And this really shows like which teams are very, very disciplined when getting their strategy going. You have to really weigh how much you scale up with the loot that you get versus Rumble Yang versus wiping another team. Now, if you see another juiced up team who burn all their ultimates and it looks like they have a lot of loot already off spawn by checking them using that target lock, it might be worth the investment, but generally going for that first Rumble Yang is more important. We are going to catch OUG on their Viper composition, Baby U on the backside, waiting for the right opportunity to go in, get the flank in onto OA, but OA has a Zai ult already going down, putting a ton of pressure onto Shinyu. Shinyu is going to fall, and unfortunate for them, Tut has them in their crosshairs, lining up the grapple, 2 grapples in, and Baby U cannot get away. The F2 is going to come down, is going to capture him. Now he has to fight his way out of here, but the gold focus, the F coming through. Baby U is going to fall, and OA's Tut with the Zai has just been on fire today. Every single time we have his POV, he's taking someone down, putting his team on his back and carrying them through.
GG have already been able to find themselves purple armor, which is going to set them up to scale this Takeda V3. They can absolutely put themselves into a realm of Yang too if they're feeling confident to go with this composition to get that legendary weapon, start hyper scaling up that Takeda V through. GL in the meantime gonna have found OA. PP comes on through with the Syra V1. Spaces away to create enough distance to break out of that Viper ultimate. We've got Phantom Step on the field as well for the Syra 2 to make it even harder to be able to lock her down. PP with the stun dazzles just managing to play gatekeeper, essentially billing bouncer onto the edge of that zone, forcing JL to pull the ripcord of that Wuchen teleport and disengage out into City of Tang as OA take to the rooftops. We reenact the Lanny cutscene. JL playing the pose of Lanny and OA very much in the format of that JL looking for the chase down. There's a lot of these teams going to be looking to see if they can pick up a couple of eliminations onto some teams that are out towards the edges of the map, hoping to recover their game before the Realm of Yang spawns up.
Alliance, let's look at the leaderboard. ASC at 6 kills, OA at 2, Bauda at 3, YZG at 2. And we're seeing a little bit of an adjustment from the lobby, Moxie, where because the MVP round is going down, a little bit more caution from these teams to not just overextend and take so many fights, but this is giving the opportunity for the lower half of the lobby to make their way in. We're seeing a lot more aggression coming out from the bottom half of the lobby, and they're capitalizing, climbing through. We see OA getting more points, ASC climbing up. I have to say though, GG has their work cut out for them. I do want to see what their line is versus Transformers. Traditionally, when we've seen Takeda versus Monk, a lot of the pressure goes on to burning through the Monk. We call it frying the Monk. But because Monk is a healing variation where every time he gets a grab and gets a slam, it heals him a ton, it's a lot harder to really burn him down. Plus, the new modern Monk does have that jump, so he is able to get away from targets jumping on the pillar and denying a ton of that pressure. That's where I think Cannonball does have a little bit of advantage when it comes to rushing down the Monk, that your Faria can always knock the Monk down when he tries to retreat and sit on the pillar. The jump is not very easy, I'll give the Monks that, but it definitely changed the name of the game. We are getting a little bit of a head nod for the shopping before the Realm of Yang. ASC, both GG, waiting to go in. With that head nod, though, only a limited amount of slots going into the Realm of Yang. Are these teams going to be able to go in? GG needs to be able to get in if they hope to MVP this round, and immediately CGS is going to be posturing going in, has the F1 pick, and boom, we are in, and we're going to get the two rivals to go at it, Wolves and GG. Always a privilege to watch these two guys go at it.
It's not the Tianhai versus the Sand Siphon. It's going to be the new Cannonball composition on the block. Sorry with that, Justina. CGS takes to the sky to try and obscure the fact that he's committed that F1 on that Takeda drops down with the R&B from that fan. You don't have the opportunity to clank against it, otherwise over the shoulder you go. Scale Rush puts the pressure onto the Justina, forces out that V1 early. Cyra's mid-ult for free to try and keep all of his players up and active as the Farrier starts to find the cannonball and finds the freeze onto CDS's Takeda, but the Pure comes on through in the form of all of this ult coming on out with that Temi. LXM is losing a lot of his HP because of it. The Farrier goes through the window to be able to keep up the pressure on the players playing inside the wind funnel, and now CJS with the fan RMBs gets to put the pressure back onto Wolves. Throws it out once, throws it out twice, goes for the F1. He's lost his Temi though. 3-3-0 is currently getting Dragon Slayer into Nessa. GG's players are split and fragmented. They can't utilize the synergy. A huge double parry comes on through from LJX, and GG lose. They lost their first hot drop fight. They lose their first Realm of Yang fight. Their recovery is denied.
Tough break for GG, but a big win for Cannonball everywhere. I was saying there before, Cannonball was created to beat Siphon, and it does really poorly just because Syro, like you were saying before, Moxie, just eats through the Temi ball. What can you got no safe place to really go with the Faria on one side, with the Syra on one side, and then a Justina dashing. It ends up being very tough, and anyone is explodable. GG was in a prime position to close this out, but it looks like the lobby is going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief. Now, we can't count out GG again. They have been known to bring it back, find these kills, and be able to salvage situations, finding reses here and there, even after getting 2 kills. We have SR on the hunt right now. On the traditional Siphon, the Karumi is out. We're saving some points here to go the distance, and SR up to 52 points. The points going down the distance will pay off in the end. Wolves on the Cannonball, going to be playing for the box, getting a ton, using their buff, surprisingly, to continue scaling up, to continue macro playing up. Nice play from Wolves, taking a line from GG, to be honest, setting up for their end game.
Yeah, but GG, like you said, we can't count them out. Unlike the previous lobby where so many kills went through incredibly quickly, this lobby is at a much slower pace. So there isn't a lot of kills that are being sequenced away from GG, and we could see a lot of players making it into the end game for GG to be able to find those eliminations, especially if they can control one of those spirit walls. The point of pressure is going to be whether they can control the spirit walls, because, you know, Temi, he was in the past a box comp, right? He played for Morris Blessing, which is what we had in Naraka Bladepoint before we had the spirit walls, and you would use it to mulch ultimate to be able to control a Morris Blessing. You would prioritize going into those points of interest as opposed to a Realm of Yang. But now that we have so many Cyrus in the lobby, being able to just chalk up a point of interest to being held down by a Temi V1, it's not enough. It's not adequate anymore. So GG are going to have a lot of the points that they would usually be able to use to recover their games from entirely denied if they're not careful. And they're now going to have to try and pick their way into a fight going head-to-head against SS1, who are running Tianhai, Kylin, and Zip. So, Raven, it's not the Realm of Yang fight, but you get to see Sam siphon into Tianhai regardless.
Yeah, CGS is going to be leading the charge right now, throwing those R&Bs like hotcakes, trying to get that big damage. He is going to get double jumped and grabbed for his reckless jump right there. Water is going to jump through, try to get the follow-up, but CJS is going to line of sight, hide under the cover. CJS on the Syra is going to be burning away, or 330 is going to be burned away at Water. CJS is going to get re-grabbed again. Oh no, he is going to go flying. Does he get the re-grab? The tree is going to defend him right now, but SS1 is going to keep up the pressure, flying in right now. CJS is going to make his way into the building. His teammates trying to cover him. Zan does come in right here, but into a world of pain right now. Instantly, Zuan gets deleted by the pole sword of LXM. Now dodging left and right. CJS trying to get the kill. Gets the parry on the Shenyuan, looks for the scale rush, gets the reset. No, he does not. Wait a minute, Shenyuan with the pole sword dash is going to get out of here. Doesn't want to be in this house of pain. 330 is going to go down. A minute left. 2v2 situation. Water coming in with the pole sword, trying to create a flanking angle for Shenyuan, but Shenyuan is going to get fried. F is going to be invested. LXM and CGS Possess, keeping up the pressure onto Juan, but oh no, another team, it looks like, who is this? OA?
OA
is showing up with the third party, and it's the Zai of Tut coming in. Wait a second, I spoke too soon. He instantly gets deleted, Moxie.
GG just went from like 0 eliminations to multiple as OA unfortunately roll up into a fight, one player way too far ahead of the rest of the squad. Matari ultimate comes on Fur. GG have not been able to get the revive onto Fur given that he had Yang depletion, so he's not going to be pick-upable as it now turns on to this poor Takeda who's having to slip and slide his way down that cliffside in the hopes of keeping himself away from the Cyrus Stun Dazzle. Out comes the R&B from that spit. PP takes down SS1's Water, and GG are given a potential opportunity with CJS's Takeda V3. He goes through the Rift Portal, taking himself up into Yushan Ruins, chasing down the disengaging Zai. He's not letting Juan go. Manages to find the Fury and Shove connection. The armor swap comes on through from Juan. CJS utilizes the activation of the Takeda F1 to be able to frame through, misgambling on that parry before coming on through with the 1-2 jump horizontal and chases even further back. We've got the Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry chase down, and CJS will finally be able to find the elimination, but unfortunately for him, it's come at the cost of losing LXM. GG may have been able to find the eliminations that they're looking for, but now they're going to have to find rebirth charms, and those are going to be few in supply.
He did get 21k, so he is in position to buy the reses back. Now, going into the realm of Yang, though, we got YZG versus Wolves. YZG on the Transformers versus the Cannonball. Syra ult's going to be invested. Fairy ult's going to be invested. And TXJ is going to be the target right now on the Monk, getting fried. CXZ on the Kylan, trying to peel the divvy up this. Nice grab from TXJ, able to demech the Fairy by landing the grab onto her exposed body. Wolves now with the flank, still putting a ton of pressure on the TXJ. One grab's going to come in. Not a second grab right now. Deep Fry is going to come down. TXJ not opting to slam right now. Is going to get frozen, but ZK is going to get the full heal off, and now everyone from YZG is low right now. B1 is going to be ticking down, but CXZ can get lifted up right now. Justina with the pulse sword is going to come with the slam. LJX is low on the Syra. He is going to get traded out, and now in a 2v2 situation. Wait a second. Can YZG bring this back? Back-to-back parries from both Wolves member. End up getting baited out. Push down. Set to the ground, but TXJ going to guard the flank of QGG with the parry. Now 2v1 situation. QGG down to half health. TXJ trying to cover for his teammate, but we have to make a decision quickly. 20 seconds left. We don't want to get timed out right now. RB's going to come out. LMB's coming out, F2 flying out of the distance, but it looks like the Fairy is going to try to buy time right now, trying to delay it, but NHQ is going to fall with the accurate scale rush of TXJ. A back and forth fight, a classic battle of these Titans going down in the realm of Yang.
And in the meantime, I'll just get this for free. They go uncontested. We've got YZG is going down to the absolute wire, almost getting timed out, avoiding that horrible position because of TXJ being able to predict and catch the disengagement plan from the Fairy with the pillar and the scale rush off of that. But also that he was to add salt into the wound that he picked up from that Fairy because of that parry from that Justina. As we can now see that ESA have taken to the skies up into Achilles Crest. They've gone trying to figure out, this is one of those positions where teams like to hide themselves up out of the notice of teams that are buffed on up, and you can see that ESA have been able to find one team in such a situation. Poor JL have been spotted out. Tessa Ultimate is going to come on through and find a connection onto two of these players, and that tether will be snapping off in a matter of moments. There's the 3-second enchantment window, and that's going to buy Xiao Xiao the opportunity to swap on over to that dagger and scale rush away, cut the noise, break the ankles, and break out of the fight from SR, who are still committing to this engagement, trying to find the eliminations.
SR, usually teams don't bother going up onto Plume Castle just because it's so easy to kite in this position. But Junks, with these gold fist plays, with the stagger of this Draco Storm, is going in with the pain. able to peel off one of them, possibly landing a kill, but we are going to go to GG versus YZG. 330 is going to be spotted out on the Syra. Looks like the rest of them are going to move away, play for a second life. Unfortunate for GG's 330, making the noble sacrifice for a team, now going back to Plume Castle. Wolf ZK again. Every time we got the camera on him, he's just laying down the law with this pole sword.
I mean, something to note though is that GG still have not let 330 fully bleed out. They could potentially track over to that body and pick him up. And with the focus that was onto the realm of Yang, that Takeda was able to res up both the Syra and the Temi. It does seem though that they have sacrificed, like you said, 330 to appease the team that could potentially have been chasing them and provide more distance between themselves and the rest of their players as they head back in towards Imperial. As we can see that Wolves still have not finished. They've got another player to drop another Soul Bloom to be able to pick up and cleanse that Yang depletion. And now with one elimination beneath their belt, they'll also now just need one for that Farrier. But like you said, there's a reason that a lot of these teams with the buff don't like kiting to this particular part of the map. And it's because the disengagement game is so incredible strong with the scale rush potential. And unfortunately for Wolves, just as they run away from that placement, OUG, a team that could have been such an easy picking for Wolves to prey on and pick up that last Soul Bloom, roll up and absorb the spot they left behind.
Yeah, top break for Wolves. They're up to 11 kills right now too. Still a really, really good round. A little bit of a slow start for them, but they are the world champions right now. Even though they don't have all their original players, they're still doing really, really well this round. 11 kills. And on the back of this Cannonball, we got to see some really cool stuff of how Cannonball is utilized versus Siphon and how it's utilized versus Transformers. Now, GG, they got that alligator blood. They just will not go down. Still finding a way to survive in this situation. Navigating, passing by a fellow Siphon composition. They don't realize, they didn't do the math right there. We're like, wait a second. Did you see a Syra? I was like, I saw Takeda and Temi. And didn't want to really take that particular fight. Wanting to transition to Spirit Well. And GG just invisible, finding the reses over and over. Maybe they'll be able to get a Spirit Well res out of this. Or will we see another two-player clutch with GG fading out this end game? That would be crazy to do it twice in a tournament.
I mean, especially given the fact that they're down that Syra, so like, who's gonna heal? And also, it's a Temi up against what? OA have a Syra, ASE have a Syra, and Wolves have a Syra. That's 3 Syras who can interrupt your V1 safety reset. As SR aren't going to be interrupted, they will be able to pick up this Spirit Well for free. This has Draco Storm too. So GG are going to be very quickly removing themselves from any close position to that one. We can see that Wolves have been able to get their hands on a Reap of Charm as well as use it. LXM must have come into contact with somebody because we can see that this Temi is in the process of healing Vitalia. So he's hiding away most likely from an engagement that occurred between himself and ASE, and they've had to split themselves. The Takeda is separate from the Temi. If one gets spotted, the other will be able to survive.
Tough break for GG. They are right next to the bell and multiple gold armor teams all around them. But the Spirit Well buff, Draco Storm, is on the field right now. And it looks like everyone's transitioning. Don't really want to engage directly into any of this. But they are looking for those stragglers. This is one of the strats in endgame that it doesn't make sense to hard commit for the 2 strong teams. But it does make sense to find out all the stragglers. And it looks like one of the stragglers, unfortunately for GG, is one of them. OUG is going to find them. LXM's going to invest that Temi, try to fight this out, try to sit in the wall. He's not able to, but nice PO coming out from CGS with the shove from the Takeda, trying to get the lineup right there. LXM trying to contribute as much as he can, but he is going to get pushed in the zone. Shinyu is going to close it out. Now you going to grab that Soul Balloon, going to keep up the pressure onto CGS. No more shoves to his name. And now, surrounded by everyone, going to send that R&B, not able to land it right here. Light attacks are going to come out, and OUG is going to make quick work of GG. We keep going. No match point win for GG on their Siphon. But SR up to 9 kills. OA up to 9 kills. ASC up to 10 kills. And Wolves, it looks like they were able to secure it. Soul moving up to 11 kills. 3 teams, actually 4 teams, fighting for the MVP of this round.
Well, SR don't have to fight for MVP eligibility. They've claimed it with that 10th elimination. OUG incredibly close to it, as are OA and ASC. We could have multiple teams. We could have 5 teams, Raven. We could go from 1 team MVP eligible to 5 in this next lobby. Moonbane is going to come on through. Draco Storm still on the field for SR that they've been able to pick up the legendary fist blades off of this Takeda alongside that additional AoE damage, the light attacks, the jump LMVs. Is just pushing ZK closer and closer to the Moonbane. AoE will be able to throw out the Wisp as well, coming on through from Zhao on that Temi the second that she's out of that Justina F2. Just again, denying so much space for that Justina to be able to kite away from, allowing SR to pick up the elimination without any sort of aggression coming through from any of the teams in the surrounding area. And off of the back of that, they didn't even have to burn an ultimate.
18 people left alive. Game 5, Hallroth. TXJ in a prime position to lead his team. But this is something I noticed too, Moxie. I feel like Transformers is closer to the best endgame team now. Before, you could make an argument that Siphon and Transformers were close to equal, but as the results are kind of showing right now, it looks like Transformers has such a dominance, and Syra does have a chance of winning heal off, but getting a ton of kills, it's back into Transformers like wheelhouse. They get to dictate a lot of the space right now. Now SR is going to be testing YZG right now with the Temi ultimate, cutting in half, denying a lot of this pressure of TXJ. He's taking a ton of damage on his legs. He has to be careful right now. He gets one hit. He has to punch right now or he's going to go down. Nice big heal going to be coming out, looking for another grab again. Healing Circle is going to be coming out, and SR is going to force out TXJ and YZG. Looks like they're going to give this up and live to fight another day. Baby, you coming in with the armor and me, big damage coming down. And we're seeing that old school Sand Siphon claiming the center right there with the Krumio, popping the ultimate and popping the second ult for the follow-up. Now it's SR's turn to go around and pick up some kills. Who are they going to choose first?
Yeah, SR also getting that legendary armor, which even though it's on the ground, is only going to be available for them to get their hands onto. YZG turning onto these other teams, forcing out that Viper ultimate, hoping that by making another team more vulnerable, SR are going to turn onto them instead, and it does work. Bowder Gem is going to fall first, but now that target has been eliminated, there's nothing in between SR and YZG, and CXE is not long for this world. TXJ is also going down with the haunted light attacks into the jump LMVs from these fist blades, aided by the additional damage from the Draco Storm. Everywhere that SR turns, one player on an opposing team vanishes. They're practically magicians at this current point. OA gonna have to go for their ultimates invested, the Matori ultimate, just trying to bail themselves out of sight, out of view from SR's target prioritization, but they've been putting themselves a little bit too close to the edge of that zone. And Junex with the Fury and shoves feels the confidence to be able to go forward and secure them into a position for that Aurora burst to come and through from the Hongsword. ASE turn around, try and punish the potential overcommitment from SR, who are down a couple of their ultimates. The Tumult ultimate has been invested, as has that Takeda, and ASE's hand is trying to win second stage of this fight, coming on through with that Syra V1, but everyone from SR's armor is in such a state that they can just tank the additional damage coming on out from the Syra.
ASE doing their best to chip away at how tanky SR is with that Draco Storm, keeping everyone healed. Finally, ults are being invested. Level 2 of SR being engaged. We've ascended to the next level, keeping up the pressure, chasing down ASC. How dare you challenge us with the Draco Storm? But Junks taking a ton of chip damage from the outside. Everyone trying to slow down this Draco Storm. Nice armor swap coming out from SR's Rico, the Kurumi of the team, but he might have sacrificed his own life for his team, for the greater good. OUG's Baby U is going to find the kill onto the Kurumi. Now, SR is going to have a tough time MVPing this round. 2 people left alive. OUG recognizing the overextension, and SS now picking off Zhao, picking off Junks as well. OUG choosing the right time to put the pedal to the metal, picking up PP now, looking for the finish off. PP on the side road, trying to buy some time, trying to get to the heal off situation. No. Baby U's coming in to clean that up as well. Last person left alive. OUG is going to sneak this through, and wait a second, it's going to be close of whether or not they can steal this MVP. 4 points plus the multiplier. It's going to be very, very close of whether or not OUG is able to take this away by the skin of their teeth, but they will be on match point after this.
Yeah, ASE's Han is just gonna be out of that Sire ultimate in a matter of moments and now has to win a 1-3 against a team who has, Dragon's Roar and a Tesla ultimate, and into the zone the fight goes, and out of the lobby onto the MVP stage. OUG will be able to take themselves. Unfortunately for them, though, Raven, and here's the kicker. They weren't MVP eligible at the beginning of this match. If they'd just been able to pick up a couple more eliminations and a couple of more standing points and the kill score multiplier in the previous...
That's going to be a very, very good fight. And a big fight that can probably decide the tournament. And we're going to OUG versus GG off spawn. Big fight going down. And Shinju put in the hands on LXM. Nice reaction dodge from LXM, but he is getting slapped not once but twice. And now SS coming in with the follow, but CGS coming in with the peel, and Baby U coming in with the peel with the slaps. Everyone's getting in there. Slaps are going down, but we do have some weapons onto OUG. Gonna get the one charge onto 330, and the overhold's gonna come through, finishing out 330. OUG is gonna get the best of GG off spawn, claiming the counter strat strategy. It's not gonna matter. GG is not ready for OUG off spawn.
No, but ASE are ready to come in for this timing attack third-party opportunity. GG weren't the only ones wanting to contest OUG, but we're going to be headed over to look at SR versus DRG. SR already have been able to drop Kakaishi, but they've lost Jin X. Zhao in that Tianhai V2 is looking to try and find these grabs, goes for the scoop, doesn't manage to find it, looks for the long-range grab, still hasn't managed to find it until just now, looks for the double, won't be able to connect, with Donquing being able to utilize the terrain to break LOS. We get one slam to be able to convert to a little bit of sustain. The kick potential into the scoop and the double grab, but no! Tragedy strikes. The Tianhai V2 expires before the damage can be done. They've got the numbers, but the satisfaction of that double grab elimination is denied. It's going to be, however, a good consolation for SR, the fact that the fight doesn't go too long and Jin X will be able to hold on to his rebirth ticket instead.
Close. The double grab almost comes through, and then Takeda pops out, but he immediately gets focus attack. So back and forth off spawn. Everyone's super locked in. OUG has the lead right now, but SR up to 5 kills. All 3 MVP teams really duking it out. They're all on Transformers right now. They're going to be setting for this first round. Yang YZG. He is going to be fighting, I believe, OA right here. Tesla ult, nice, accurate Tesla ult coming out on all 3. And then a response getting on all 3 back. THA in a tough position, trying to make his way out of there. Wuchen Port's going to come out. Nice job by the Wuchen to deny all of the pressure here. And now YZG, OA, tough situation. Both Viper teams burning everyone's cooldowns. We still have Wuchen Port down for OA, but both teams are going to be vulnerable if they choose to engage right now. It looks like OA does want the smoke, wants to come in. He's going to get denied on entry, getting counter grappled, trying to go for that high flank. Instead, has to slowly work his way in. Same thing for YZG's CXZ. He tries to go for a flank as well, but Tut is going to get absolutely deep fried right now, but the port is going to be coming out, and now SS1, like you said, Moxie, is going to be coming in with the third party.
Yeah, they were in spectator seats, they were in soul form, just watching that fight go down, cataloging the ultimates that had been invested, and it's falling apart for them. They get isolated. Water overextends. YZT were able to convert on the player out of position with the numbers advantage, convert into an elimination, and even though the third party came on through from SS1, even though they had more ultimates to make it playful, YZT had the better of the loot, and they've been able to turn return onto the third party timing coming on through. TXJ slides in, intercepts, comes on through with the F2, leads up into that Tesla ultimate connection as well. QGG is going to go down. He's going to commit that skill, is trying to clip onto Juan as well as reposition, given the fact that his Tesla was coming under pressure and now wants to go for a full reset angle as SS1 looks to try and pick up water, won't be able to, but do find the spacing to come on through with this IV2. Backwards and forwards, the fight swings. TXJ is down. SS1 are able to grab the soul bomb off of the body to give Juan a little bit more confidence to keep himself in this fight. The Nunchucks looks for the meter dump connection, and we're going to be able to come on through with the elimination, hopefully for SS1, before the salty revive can come out, because TXJ is on the mini-map, and he's out of the salt into the fight. Why is YCG gamble and commit, and TXJ comes back into the fight and swings it?
Nice. You know what? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of sodium in your system, a little bit of salt in the blood for the salty respawn. And when it pays off big. OUG at the store, setting up for the Realm of Yang, looking super stacked right now. Full Jades on the Monk, full Jades for everyone, almost all Jades unlocked. Setting up for the purple armor, purple weapons, going to be divvying out all the loot, and same thing with SR. Are we going to, I wanted to see OUG versus GG, but now it's looking like we need to see an SR versus OUG instead. The new kids on the block, are they going to be able to take it in? And one of the big finesses of going into Yang is when you actually go in. Usually, the team who does not care and takes all challengers, just wants to get in, will just spam going in. But if you do get a free Realm of Yang, you try to snipe out the exact Yang that you go into. So, like, generally the first person who goes in, that's the Chads of the lobby. They don't care who they fight. They're just going in first. So ideally you want to go in third, but you do risk, because everyone's mashing E to get in, not getting in. So it's a little bit of Yang gotcha when it comes to NBPL, Moxie.
Well, not just that, you also have to worry about a Tesla ult connecting onto you as you try and slide in that portal. Not gonna lie, Raven, I think I'd rather go in a Realm of Yang than get CC stunned outside of it, so that only 2 of my teammates get to go through, if we get to go through at all. So we can definitely see that a lot of those teams that are less Vipers, remember we saw a lot of Cyrus in all of the group picks coming through, and that is something that the TN High teams are going to be aware of, so they might well believe that they have a little bit more time to go into that third Yang finesse situation, although you don't really want to be going into a Realm of Yang without the opportunity to pick up eliminations if you're these Transformer teams, because part of why that Realm of Yang is so appealing to the Transformers team is that it's a situation where you cannot possibly be third party. And Transformers, one of its major weaknesses, no matter what meta we find ourselves in, has been that it's an all-in composition, especially with the Kylan coming into the mix. You have to use the Kylan ultimate a lot of the time at the same time as your TN High uses his to be able to follow up damage on those grabs. So you can potentially get pulled apart by a third party with a team rolling in with ultimates while you have a sum total of 0. As GG returned to the scene of the crime over towards Shadow Jade, trying to pick through some of the loot, but I mean, OUG has been very, very clean with just being able to absolutely ransack every single one of those shows. But surprisingly, 2 sets of purple armor too, so they were also able to win the gacha of that purple armor system on the dealers at the same time.
Looking at the map spread, ASE at the top, SR at the top, completely isolated. It's very nice to get an isolated Yang, so you avoid getting hit by all the Vipers. At the same time, when you come out of Yang, the first Yang depletion is a lot less than the second Yang depletion, so you also don't get the follow-up of finding kills. We are going to see the highlights off spawn. Double grab going in. Oh my god, this is that clutch situation. Boom. The ult comes out, and he just gets deleted. Oh, back and forth. And we're just like, wait a second, what happened here? And SR
RMV fist plates moment.
There's so much damage with the pole sword and RMB fist blades. Oh my goodness. We are going to get ASE versus SR inside the Realm of Yang, though.
Yeah, so not Mirror Transformer coming in through. OUG are going to be matched against DRG, and GG actually went in and will be matched against Wolves. So none of our MVP eligible teams going to be fighting each other. Zhao already able to mince through all of that armor from ASE Han's mech, and that is the Farrier. There one moment, gone the next. ASE trying to take cover. This is the Valda Cannonball team, and that's already in the investment of that Valda F. Mist is in the grab, getting hit onto by the Kylan dash. After effects, Zhao is out of the ultimate, but the damage has been done. This will be able to spare SR's Jun, but what a parry cover comes on through for the Tianhai to keep his Kylan safe, and SR now just have to try and find this last elimination onto ASE Xiaowen. So we're going to cut over and watch a different realm of Yang that's still going strong.
GG versus Wolves, the rivals going at it. CGS going into stage 2. Monk ult's already gone. The ending of this Kylan's going into the last little bit of neutral. Double ult going on, but CGS is going to opt to go help his teammates, staggering the flank, trying to parry the flank. He does get one of them. He turns it over to the Monk, though. The bell is going to clank for him now. CGS in a tough position, setting up, but the F is going to come down, knocking everyone to the ground. And again, GG is going to fall to their rivals, Wolves. Wolves not losing to Transformers Mirror, able to close out on GG. Now this is when, if I'm GG, it's a salty pill to swallow that we were on at match point and we haven't been able to close that. We've been losing these Yang fights. Now OUG on the outside, winning their Yang fight, and look at the scoreboards. SR, OUG, looks like both won their Yang fight. Shinyu on the Monk, diving down versus DRG. And Shinyu all day, Moxie, has been doing so well on the Monk as well as Fong.
Yeah, at the moment he is losing a lot of his health bar though to the pressure coming on through, just having to jump around and avoid some of this damage coming on through from the Sire. He's doing a good job though of absorbing that pressure from the Sire, but the rest of his team, as we can see at his feet, they are attempting to fry with the fan RMBs. Now he's up on that pillar. He's been able to find a grab towards the tail end of the ultimate, but that means the Sire V1 has been completed, so he doesn't have to worry about being triple charge stunned out of that throw, and he can commit it into the rest of his teammates. Baby U also holding on, delaying that activation of the Kylan V2 so that the Temi ultimate has already burned its course and he doesn't have to worry about that interfering with his dash distances, and DRG just get picked apart methodically into the second stage of that one. OUG doing a very good job of just utilizing that Tianhai to bait a lot of that pressure coming on through early, and now we get to see SR versus Wolves. This is the Tianhai mirror that we were hoping to be able to get. Both of the Tianhais looking for grabs onto players, but only one of them able to find it, and Zhao has to turn to try and CC chain stun out of the grab from LJX. Now LJX has found another of the grabs. It's up to Zhao to try and stop that pummel from coming on through as the Kylan dash effects chase down player after player who gets sent packing into the sky, into the ground. One Tianhai falls before he can cancel out of his ultimate and save himself a little bit longer with the Tianhai F1, and that provides the opening that Wolves were looking for. They've still got 9HQ's ultimate dashing on down as it's just SR's Rico, not long for this world, getting hit into that Vermilion Bird's Might as a GG and OUG fighting inside the zone for a place to stay in this lobby.
2 minutes left on the Yang depletion. 3-3-0. Doing some work onto Shinyu right now, ahead of the Monk Tiddo. Stomp going to be coming down. 1 HP situation. Shinyu's going to fall right now, but the dash is coming through from Baby U. 3-3-0 has to be careful coming out of his transform. He is going to have to invest his bell to deny the focus attack from Baby U, but his teammate's doing a good job of peeling, and looks like GG is going to win their run back, staying alive, staying in the race, but OUG and SR have the lead right now, up to 6 kills on OUG, and SR at 8 kills. Wuchen Poacher going to be coming out for YZG versus JL right now. JL on that Xiphon composition, the counter to Viper, going to be closing the distance, but it looks like multiple teams are around right now. Alliance is going to catch JL, seeing that they have no ultimates, and now Cuckoo has to be the noble sacrifice for the rest of his team to get out of here, but will JL be able to get away from a full ults, Alliance team. Matari Dash gonna be coming out, and One Funk is gonna get picked apart with the dash through into the musket shot. Clean stuff coming out from Alliance, but the name of the game right now, the big story, all eyes are on OUG, SR, and GG as they all fight for this lobby. We still have second Realm of Yang to go into. I want to see a mirror match. Even though we saw Wolves is definitely looking very clean with it in their fundamentals of their Transformer Ditto. So I'm curious to see, does Wolves just steal it away from everyone else in this lobby, considering how strong they've been in their Transformer mirror?
Yeah, they're on 8 eliminations. One thing that GG are going to be struggling with, though they were able to pick up those 3 eliminations onto OUG, it was a team with 1,000,000 birds, mate, which means that they don't get the opportunity to loot the bodies. They didn't get any of the loot scaling that OUG and SR have current access to from winning that first Realm of Yang, which means purple armor, but not just that, legendary weapon for their Tian High to be able to scale up the damage, or you put it on the Kylan to be able to scale up the damage of those dashes too, given the fact that the Tian High isn't finding the kills, he's more setting up the CC for the Kylan to be able to follow through. Looks like GG though are going to be very close to a Realm of Yang entrance just outside of Celestia. Wolves also right next to them currently, but I think the discrepancy in loot and GG understanding that they've lost 2 Realm of Yang fights in a row now, do they really want to take it? SR are also going to be waiting it out to see if there's going to be a tested team trying to CC stun out some of these players from going in, and it's going to be GG versus Alliance and SR versus Wolves. What a Realm of Yang fight that one will be.
Yeah, GG versus Alliance is a classic of last season. Alliance not really known for their Yang fights, but when they're on Zai, I'm not gonna lie, there's Zai. Ends up carrying a lot of situations. Yuma going to be able to line of sight right now, scale rushing back and forth. Syra ult's going to be invested to help Peel to deny the exit. 3-3-0 trying to grab around these corners. Unfortunately, the hand clipping the wall just a little bit, but he is able to pick up Yuma. Stagger's going to be coming out. Are they going to be able to get the follow to turn into the slam? No follow-up, going for the regrab. Matari ult's going to be invested. CGS not able to follow up and get that nice execution off, but he is still an ultimate, forcing out NY7 now. NY7, I believe, still has that Zai ultimate online, and we know what happens when Zai ult comes up and you have no ultimates. It's going to be looking rather cooked for them. LXM already getting a ton of pressure put onto him, setting up for this last little bit. But Alex, wait a minute, NY7 is getting target fire right now, going to dash into the sky, and Yuma is also very low right now. GG is bringing this back on the back of LXM kiting the focus fire right now. Revenge now looking for the flank. He's going to get that R&B. Now we're down to a 2v2 situation for the tournament right now. Calvary Bloom off the uppercut. Revenge is going down, and now 3-3-0 down to 1 HP. NY7 tap dodge roll is going to F through. Look for the follow-up kill onto 3-3-0, but he double jumps away. It's creating the distance. D5 is going to come out. Wait a second. GG 3-3-0 has to come back in, has to tag right into CGH down to 1 HP, but 3-3-0 gets immediately eliminated, and now we're down to a 1v1 last hit situation, jumping LMB into R&B, back-to-back tech reads, but wait a second, NY7 fakes the F into the cancel. Wait a second, what was that? I haven't seen that before in the league. He fakes the F into the light attack cancel and clutches it again versus GG. Holy
oh, that's a tilt if you're GG. Oh, that's a tilt if you're GG. What a cancel! I've never seen that in Trios. I've never seen that in Solos. That's gonna be tech that's gonna be utilized by everybody come the rest of this week. As it's gonna be SR on the back foot, by the way, because Wolves griefed SR's Realm of Yang win. And now 2 out of 3 of our teams who are MVP eligible are on the back foot with Yang depletion, fighting inside a Forbidden Seal on a composition that relies on an ultimate cycle to be able to bag the eliminations that it's looking for. This is not looking good, Raven. The 3 Tian High teams.
I mean, not looking good or looking very good now that there's so much desperation ever. I'm still blown away. An F Meteor cancel in a light attack. So for those of you at home, that is absolutely ridiculous because most people you can react to the F and dodge. So he counts on his reaction and then immediately traps for the tap dodge and chases it down. Now we are going to get a replay. Wolves versus SR. How does this go down? Wolves, LX jumping in, looking for the scoops, gets on the hip, jumping over and over. Zhao trying to get out of the situation. Oh, no, not like this. Not like this. You never want to be against the corner as Monk. You can get 100-0 very, very quickly. You see Zhao making his way to the top of the pole, trying to deny this damage, but he went into Monk form with no armor, so he didn't be put in a really, really tough situation. Now you see Junks on the Kylan coming into PO for his teammates, Rico and both Zhao taking a ton of damage, so he's not able to come in time to help his team as they will fall. Wolves just has everyone at 1 HP going into the second phase. Now 1v3 situation. Junks is going to have to pop his F, but that's why. Unlosable neutral. We got the focus slide pole sword. The tried and true focus slide into crouching LMB, and they're going to keep him alive, close it out. But really, really clean stuff coming out. SR, though, still valiant effort, but that Monk boxing duel really showing the difference between all of the Monks in the NBPL lobby.
Yeah, Zhao has to go for a rerun now of that Tianhai V2. It's not going to be a mirror matchup. He's just looking for any grab that he can possibly find. DRG Kakaishi comes on through with that Syra V1, starts to put the pressure onto these other players coming on off the end of SR. There's the stagger from the triple charge Syra V, stopping Zhao from doing what he wants. One player has been grabbed. He has to go for the confirmation of the stun into the chase down from the Kylan V2, which will set up to the reverb into the next slam down. And Zhao, outside of that ultimate, will be able to grab the soul blim off of the body. Kakaishi now has to try and keep himself alive because he runs and disengages into YZG. And that means that one player still being alive. SR have not been able to pick up a full team wipe. They've still got a zip to cleanse the Yang depletion from. They still have to all in onto this Syra. Kakaishi is going lower and lower. Will be able to pop off, though. A little bit of a heal coming on through. Gets put into the cliffside, and unfortunately for SR Zip, it's not on his location. Rico is still missing one of those soul blims and still saddled with that Yang depletion. And even though we've got both the Tianhai and the Kylan alive, without the means of sustaining them, when we get to that Spirit World contest and the Viper teams start knocking on the door with their ultimates, you're going to be very short for this world, especially if YZG are already at your front door. Out comes the Tesla ultimate into the Viper V3. SR don't have the Tianhai ultimate to be able to iframe the CC, and SR are going to be sent out of this lobby if they're not careful. I believe the only one alive for that team currently is the Kylan and the Zip with Yang depletion, who's about to go down. No, all of them are out. Oof.
All of them are out. GG still has 2 Yang, 2 Cure. Wait a minute. Somehow they got Draco Storm, though, so they're going to be flying in like a wrecking ball. They only have 1 minute left, though, and it looks like they're going to be choosing Wolves. Not an ideal situation, or is it, though? Because Wolves does have the most amount of kills and is most likely to MVP this round. And now CGS is going to be putting up the pressure, popping the Kylan ult. Pedal to the metal. No caution being thrown to the wind right now. GG really needs to find this kill right now. 30 seconds, the time is clicking, but LJX again, Monk regrab, jumping the slam from 330, just putting a clinic on this Monk matchup, able to bob and weave against all the C3 at 330 while still getting these grabs. Wolves doing a wonderful job of icing out the pressure, and CGS is going to fall right now. NXQ keeping up the pressure. Unfortunately, though, for Wolves, now the rest of the lobby is going to be on them, so they are not going to be able to MVP this round unless they're able to get out. Wait a second.
Hold on.
330. Got the rebuff charm. He's pulling out 2 rabbits out of the hat somehow, but unfortunately for them,
they get spotted.
YZG gets spots him out, so does ASC. Can they survive another lobby situation?
Not off at the back of that Tesla. Oh, I feel Free gets enchanted. Will be able to utilize that F1 to try and keep himself alive a little bit longer, and does manage to frame through the dodges coming out of the RNBs from the halberds that chase down his silhouette. But no, GG are denied the turnaround that they were looking for, and they're going to be knocked out of this lobby too, making it just OUG with an MVP that could prevent us from going into game number 7. AC's missed with the commitment of that Valda V2 is going to be able to just silence everyone's position inside a Jade Pond, and we get a wider map view to try and figure out what exactly OUG have been up to. There's 2 Tianhai teams. There's still a Spirit World to play for, Raven. This lobby is not done yet, but ASE's missed is absolutely done for, getting caught up into the Dragon's Roar from those nunchucks.
YZG, they went into this end game, has a bunch of blueberries, and now they're coming out on top. Started from the bottom, now we're on top. Got the gold armors, and this is the problem with the Viper comms. They take advantage of all the stacked teams and hit them when they're most vulnerable, when they have no ultimates up, and there's not much you can do versus a Viper composition when you have nothing up. No peel is going to be coming through. The silence is AoE. You need to have a Matari or a Yushan to really fight back. I say that, and Alliance Yuma does get taken down. Revenge is going to be looking to create some space so that they can get the res right now, but all of the lobby is going to be looking in. Revenge looking for the stagger, going to be running into YZG, and stunned, set up to get focus fired, but he is going to make his way out of there. Dashing up to the sky, trying to disappear into the zone, make his way to the left, but OA's Tut is going to be able to track him, follow him down, pick up that kill, and Wolves up to 14 kills, Alliance up to 11, but it looks like they're going to be knocking out. Wolves having a massive game here. Are they going to be able to clean up the rest of this lobby and possibly get to 63? They are 20 points off, or what's this, 17 points off. They're going to need to get the rest of these kills if they hope to pass, but if they keep up on pace of everyone being aggressive, there is a chance they're able to push through. Can OUG, though, Moxie, slow down the lobby and bring this up? 7 kills, 7 more kills? It's possible. 14 people left alive. OUG still in a position to clutch.
Definitely possible, especially because it's not Dracostorm in the last barrel. It is going to be Mystic Might. We see are currently in control of it, and OUG are in control of that elimination. Musket shot comes on through. Xiaowen falls, and OUG go up to 8 eliminations. Spirit Well still has not been picked on up. YZG is going to kite over towards it, utilizing that dome to be able to avoid the range pressure coming on through, but that might be their undoing because it's given an opportunity for Wolves to rotate all the way back around to that Spirit Well that they were previously, pop that Tianhai V2, and now sit in the middle of that cap. But OUG griefing it out at the last possible minute, go right into the hands of the Tianhai. Xinyu gets sent out into that zone, comes on through with an F1 to keep himself intact, pulls out that V2, and now OUG are in position to try and control the Spirit Well and get a double ultimate cycle. The rest of the lobby might have to play to that tempo, but no, they converge in. The enemy of my enemy. No team in this lobby wants to let a Tianhai team walk away with the Spirit Well possession, and OUG get absolutely barbecued from the Flamebringer coming in from the flank. Wolves invest in the Kylan ultimate, trying to keep themselves alive from the corner that they find themselves being put into, but OA are going to be able to walk away with the elimination. In the middle of the confusion, OUG, without a Kurumi, find the means of reviving that Tianhai, and OUG are not out of this just yet. Spirit Well still hasn't been capped. YGG deciding to try and make a play for it this time around. The Merciless Havoc is going to be able to let them stick the landing, as well as find the elimination onto Baby U, but this time around the trump card has been shown. The staff will not be able to pick up any of the momentum into that gold frame focus. It will be parried out, and this Spirit Well might just be about to despawn, as YZG TXJ is hoping that he can get another cycle of that Viper V3. OUG down that Kylan, don't have the means of picking the body up this time because he died into that zone, but sitting there with the Tianhai and the Zip, they still have the means and the burst damage to find the eliminations and win the heal-off situation to get the kill skill multiplier. Raven, OUG could still MVP.
They're up to 9 kills, and the 14 kill Wolves did go down in the scuffle of that Spirit. Well, I don't know, though. It's going to be really tough to make it past these double Viper teams. They're going to see a Zipping and a Monk. They're not going to want them to win that situation. SS are going to be zoning out, going into zone. OA going to be doing some damage, but TXJ able to zone out SS. We still got a Monk online. This would be the craziest clutch if their Monk is able to find some kills right now, but it's going to be TXJ dictating this endgame, looking for the Cavalry Bloom, shredding OA from the side, but OA is doing a really good job of holding their ground. You see Jinyu just like, hey guys, don't mind me here, just trying to MVP the round. 8 kills for OA. YZG at 12 kills. 1 minute left. Can we sneak this through as OA fends off the pressure from YZG, and now they're going to crank up the pressure, chasing them down, pushing Meng into zone right now, though. TXJ doing the work for his team, setting them up, but QGG with the F, pushing now OA into zone. Meng is going to go down, and now 2 people left. Can OUG's Monk find a way to get some kills here to close this out, Moxie?
He's just playing above. He's trying to win the heal situation. YCG go up to 14 eliminations if he's not careful. Even if he wins the heal off situation, he's not going to have the means of MVPing. But unfortunately for him, he gets spotted out. He might have run out of grapples. The Merciless Havoc comes on for the TN high, and the MVP situation is denied. We're guaranteed to go a game number 7. The question is another team going to be able to get themselves over the 63-point threshold? YZG come through with the eliminations, the last team standing, and the kill score multiplier too. We don't need to, well, we do need to do the maps. I'm not going to do the maps live. Raven's not going to do the maps live. We'll leave it to production to see whether or not it's enough for them to cement a position in MVP.
A super risky play. But Fireflies off spawn, OUG versus SR. Rico going to be making his way for that weapon. Baby U is going to get dropped. The fan, Kurumi, is going to be popping the tether onto Baby U. They're going to make their way to the podium. They have to be careful for the ballistas to the left and right. Junks with the aggression, trying to close the distance onto the Kurumi. After he's going to be popped, they are going to prevent the ballista play, but on the opposite down, Rico going to be laying down some ballista shots, and Junks is going to take down Baby U. SR going to be able to claim Salvation's podium as Baby U does get taken down. It looks like they are going to accept defeat right here and back off. I was wondering, they were going to try to res through the corner since of the verticality, but we are going to move over to ASC versus OA. It looks like OA is going to be getting cleaned up right now as they move out. 3v1 situation. PB is going to get taken down, and ASC is going to get on the board, getting 2 kills off spawn.
Yeah, so very quickly returning back to why we didn't see the Kurumi try and find the revive. The Tether got burned. I remember when they were repositioning back over towards the Salvation podium away from the Ballista Towers. Unfortunately, it looks like Jinyu got caught by another team where he disengaged into because he got a bounty scroll put on his head just before we hopped over to a different team's POV. We're going to be hopping now over towards Yusham Ruins. This is everywhere that JL likes to be able to prioritize as a landing position so they can go through those rift portals and pick themselves the Firefly cages as well as the Fireflies on either side of it. YZG QG is actually going to utilize the other side of the portal to disguise the activation of the Takeda F1 and immediately finds a huge opening to be able to start off this fight on the right foot for YZG. Tumultuous Ultimate is also going to be invested coming on through. The Syra able to ignore the entirety of it. However, and we're going to get to see a little bit of the pressure. The 2 versus 1 situation has been found. The stun dazzle field does manage to connect onto CXE on that Tammy as QGG again gets stunned on up by the Cyrus stun dazzles coming on off from this V1, commits the LMV onto those fist blades. It's got the Fury and shoves he has to contest against. Now comes on through with another activation of that F1. You can't throw a singular blue. The Fury and shoves comes on out from the opposing Takeda, and the parry is found from JL's Cuckoo. That's going to be able to signify 2 players going down, but YZG are still going to be able to win the numbers deal and pick up their teammates and secure themselves the opening eliminations.
Oh my goodness. Off spawn has been a doozy. Now GG is going to be engaging onto Alliance. Revenge down to 1 HP, but Zyalt are going to be on CGS, able to find that focus attack in Zyalt. And now Yuma is going to fall as well. I was looking at the character picks to the left, Moxie. 9 Cyrus?
Yeah, 9 Cyrus. Remember how you asked me earlier, is it mathematically possible to get 7? Well, now we have 7 and then 2 extra.
9 of one character. Well, it is very clear that the league believes Syra is one of the strongest picks right now when it comes to any composition. We are going to get SR, Rico with the Syra ult pop, Jinyu with the Syra ult pop, looking for the staggers right now. OUG's Baby U is going to be getting staggered over and over. Kurumi ult's going to be coming down. Double healer, going to be able to fade out some of this pressure. Zhao on the Zai is going to be taken down to the LMB dagger, and now Jinyu is going to be putting on the pressure onto Junk. Junk's going to be fading out, looking for the overworld, going to double jump over the wall, into the F, into the building. Bye-bye. Going to be making some space, trying to get a reset here. Hopefully, their Zai has fallen right now. He is going to make his way backwards right now as Shinyu is chasing down Rico, making his way into the building. He tries to fade back, scale rushing out, but nope, no, sir. Jinyu with the closeout, able to block the scale rush out, and now Junks is just going to try to grapple away, live to fight another day, not give up the free kill.
I mean, not give up the legendary fan that they were able to get from solving Salvation Podium. Just the way that we saw SR and DRG go head-to-head when we saw Holoroff the first time around, but Han able to find a huge opening parry, double parry, back-to-back, covers his teammate who also gets parried with that Tianhai F1, spacing on back to avoid the activation of that Cyrus stun coming on through from the F1, and ASE will be able to clean up the fight without having to burn one of those massive ultimates, that investment of both the Kylan V2 and that Tianhai V2, which is major news for them given the fact that Forbidden Seal was popped off, and we know that all of those teams will have opened their map and seen that one pop up and will therefore be on their way to rotate on over to figure out whether or not it's a situation they can take advantage of. GG in the meantime playing it a little bit slower. They've got a couple of eliminations to their name. They did get contested by one team over towards Imperial, which they were able to see off, and now they're in a much better situation than they have the previous couple of games to start to shore up resources and loot for that first run of Yang Gambit.
ASC already up to 5 kills, throwing those R&B bunks like hotcakes. Everyone a little bit nervous, a little bit gun shy to throw those parries out. Surprised that we were able to get so many through. Wolves already up to 4 kills as well, but not at that MVP threshold. Now, OA is at that MVP threshold. They're stacked, and they're setting up for the Realm of Yang. That means the top 6 are all for sure going Realm of Yang. What do the rest of the top 6, though? For sure, Wolves is going to go. There's not going to be enough room for that Realm of Yang. I believe there's going to be a bit of a dog pile going into this Realm of Yang. We're not giving up this for free. You're going to have to fight your way in. And if you fight your way in, there's a chance either one, your teammate's going to get griefed, or you might just get hard committed and have to use all your ultimates and could get third party. So it's going to be very, very spicy going into this first Realm of Yang as all of the teams really set up.
Who's got the Moonbane, though? Because if one team can just pop a Moonbane over one of those entrances to Realm of Yang, they don't have to worry as much about the commitment. But then you have to commit money towards a Moonbane charm as opposed to buying either Soul Jades or those purple armors, as we can see. OUG decided to go for a Moonbane pickup and will be able to use it before anyone else in the lobby, so everyone else is going to be locked out of utilizing that ticket.
It's funny, you said as long as you get the Moonbane. Now, the Moonbane ends up timing just kind of perfectly, ending right as the first Immortal War Yang ends up going, so it does defend you for a little bit, but not all the way through. And looking at the map, you don't really see anyone posturing going for Draco Storm as a secondary. Everyone is literally looking to go into Realm of Yang. This is going to be a spicy first fight. And already we're down to 34 people, so 2 people already finished off. Their solo teammate trying to find a res on them. It looks like it is OUG's Moonbane inside Plume Castle. One of the best places to go into the Realm of Yang. Not only do you want to be able to get in safety, but you also want to be able to capitalize on your buff and hunt as you come out. And if you get the prime real estate of going in first right here, one of the most ideal situations. The F is going to be coming out. GG's CJS is going to create the space to go in, and they're going to be fighting a Blueberry ASC while GG is stacked.
Oh no.
Purple
OUG were denied. OUG burnt him in and didn't even get a Realm of Yang entrance.
Lucky. Now, ASE is on Transformers right now. Tan gonna be zoning out, looking for the commitment. Gonna get a light attack onto CGS. Zai F is gonna be invested. 3-3-0 on the Cyro is gonna pop the ultimate, looking for the grab onto Alex F. Not able to get the re-grab off the slam. Now 3-3-0, poking them, going for a second grab. Wait a second, CGS is just gonna fall. The amount of pressure put on by Mist on the Kylan was just too much. My man was not ready to ult, not ready to zone out in that situation, but we've seen GG come back in a 2v3 situation. Both offensive ults have been used by ASC. Can GG bring it back like they have done before?
They're looking for it. The toothpick from LXM isn't going to be able to find the extension he was looking for with that Tian High F1 dodging out of the stagger follow through. And now it's just a 3 versus 1. And they're just going to play with their food to kite out this buff as long as they possibly can. LXM is going to fall. And GG yet again, 3 times in a row now, are denied a Realm of Yang victory. That's why GG TXJ is going to have to spend that Syra F1 to avoid any of that follow-up coming on through from the uppercut. But they've still got the numbers advantage. And YZG will be able to come on through with the Syra Sand Siphon, winning out their Realm of Yang, picking themselves up legendary halberds as well as that Vermilion Bird's Might. With so many of these teams having opened up into that one placement of Realm of Yang, they're all likely going to be in positions close to each other to potentially try and third party onto another buff team. So we can have a look at OA out into that zone, trying to find a recovery position. SR also trying to find a recovery in terms of the overall loot. They've been able to recover their players. The last we saw them, it was just this Matari who was trying to hold on for dear life with that legendary fan. As remember, SR, despite not having the amount of eliminations some of these other teams already do, YZG up to 7 eliminations currently, by the way, are still with a shot of walking away with that MVP and ending the day early. You can recover your game. And YZG going out all the way into the woods of around Snow Lake might potentially be able to find some of those respawning players. This is the moment that YZG were able to turn their Realm of Yang into a win and scaling opportunity. The Mulch Ultimate comes into the mix, blocks any potential grabs coming on through from DRG's Kakaishi. UGG is also holding on to 2 of those Fury Shells, puts himself behind the pillar. Yes, he's getting knocked around by the Kylan Ultimate, but crucially, he's still out of LOS from the Tien High to get any follow through until just now. The grab does come through, and it is into the Kylan After Effect dash coming on out, but he was able to lengthen and draw the fight out as long as possible. It allowed TXJ to come on through with the second win, Syra V1, when there's no resources left for DRG to hold on.
TXJ on the Cyber ult, getting the juggle onto DRG's WX98, closing it out. Coming out of ultimate, Big Perry going to be coming out onto Don Q, putting down to a 1 HP situation, then going over and peeling for CXZ. TXJ doing all the work for his team right now. Nice closeout from CXJ, able to get that nice sneaky scale rush in to close out. And again, TXJ with the flank, able to close it out. TXJ wants this win today, and on the outside, he's going to continue to bring the pain onto Bautis. ZZTT getting taken down early and then picking off Jing. Wait a minute, GG is here as well? Wait a second, GG on the Zai. This is what I was saying. This is what they need to do. They need to go back to the Zai. CJS does a lot of good work on the Zai. They are going to be running into JL. And this is what I was saying as well, Moxie. There's just so many teams ready to come in, third party, fourth party, and looking at the leaderboard, YZG up to 9 kills, but ASE right on the cusp at 8 kills. Wolves is going to die at 4 kills. And we have our first elimination. OA is going to be eliminated in 6th place at 69.6. So technically, Moxie, you have 6 horses still in the running to take away and deny this MVP. 5 MVPers still in the running for this. Who is going to take it this game, or are we going to really go to an 8th game?
Wolves do have Yang depletion. They are dropping players, but I'm not really seeing the portraits getting cleansed just yet because of the amount of people that are in this spacing. Therzai will be able to pick up a Soul Bloom. Matari and Syra still needing one. GG, by the way, have been able to full team cleanse the Yang depletion, so they do not have to be amongst the three of all of these players out on Frozen Lake. They can play on the sidelines of it, and you can see them up there on the cliffside on top right, just waiting to figure out whether or not they can grab some of these eliminations off of a well-placed pistol or musket shot, as well as wanting to get a lay of the land, a read of the ultimates that are going to be invested from some of the other teams in this area. You have to be careful that they don't overextend and overcommit, especially on Frozen Lake with the freeze butterflies that you can activate to trap some of those players into forms of CC, as OUG will be able to pick up another elimination. SR still biding that time. 3 eliminations they've been able to pick up over towards Yushan Ruins. That Soul Altar being a very particularly good grounds for players to look to spawn back into and try and recover their game, especially if they're at the back of a lost realm of Yang. ASE, in the meantime, also going to be playing the very long game. They're the only Tian High team alongside SS1 in this lobby that could potentially play for those Spirit Wells and deny the MVP eligibility teams from coming on through. Second realm of Yang is going to spawn on up. It's not the same level of contest that comes on out from the first iteration over towards Plumed, but there's still a little bit of pushing and prodding to make sure that you can get your way first.
This is going to be a big Yang fight for YZG. They've been clutching out an endgame, but they haven't been clutching it inside of Realm of Yang. QGG is going to get staggered in midair, almost gets put into Dual Blade Infinite. Going to pop that F1 and staggered in midair. Wait a second, Bauda, nice scouting report, able to deny a lot of that nuance and neutral, catching the double jump of Takeda, but Syra is going to be popped right now. ZZT cutting around the pillar. Everyone picked up by TXJ as he goes for the stagger. He's able to heal and damage his primary target. That's it. Bauda's Takeda, ZZT. QGG looking for the focus flank. Again, going to get denied the landing. One Strike Fairy going to come out for the ZZT. He is going to get flanked, though, from the Cavalry Bloom of Jing on the Temi. Now QGG has 3 more shoves to his name. One parry is going to come down for ZZT. Jing again putting on the pressure onto QGG. We send the follow-up. We send those blues. And now with 1 shove left, Bauda does have the health advantage. And Jing is putting on the pressure on to QGG. Nice F usage, able to armor through, keep this space ready. Stagger is going to be coming out. Wiz coming out for QGG. And now the mirror match of Takeda. YZG is getting a best of it. QGG is going to find the kill onto them. And out of nowhere, everyone ends up falling. And YZG is going to pick up that critical first realm of Yang.
What a Scourus drop down into fan RMB. We've still, however, got another realm of Yang going on. OUG versus ASE. Han 65%. That Tian High V2 is not going to be able to get another iteration of it. OUG converging onto these players from the side of ASE one by one, putting them into the blender with the double pocket. Syra and Karumi making it next to impossible to be able to shred down Baby U when those ultimates are active. And off of the back of that, OUG will be able to claim another 3 eliminations, as well as scale their equipment up towards that Takeda level 3v3. So we can have a look back and see this is SR taking down Alliance over with this Matari ultimate setting up. You don't know where the Syra F1 is going to come through. You don't know where the LMV on the dagger is going to come through. And there was nothing that Alliance could do. They couldn't see their enemies to be able to fight them.
Let's look at these leaderboards. YZG commanding lead with 12 kills. Now, it may go to the distance. Someone could still end up stealing the round in the bottom 6, but now we're down to 4 teams in the bottom 6, 5 teams in the top 6. Still anyone's game. 7 kills on Bauda. They are on Yang depletion right now. They need to find the rest. So does ASC. We'll have to see how these teams are going to play this. Do you play the conservative line and try to go to endgame, or do you hunt these scenarios and potentially get super all-in by a double ult Syra or a Monk Kylan double ult? Wolves in a bush is going to get caught out by GG with the blue buff. GG knows they have to keep aggressive, keep their foot on the gas, and with this Zai composition, they are going to find a nice blue armor team that could possibly pick off, and this time it's Wolves.
Yeah, opening up with the scale rush from the pull sword, putting the pressure onto LJX. CJS also just playing a scouting position to make sure that if another team with buff rolls up, they're aware of it ahead of time. And there it is. OUG have been scouted, and now GG have a decision to make. Do they all in and try and find the eliminations that they're currently lacking, or do they play it safer and hope that they do not get third-partied? ASE's Han now goes for the Tianhai ultimate, is looking for the grabs. Bowder going to be trying to disengage it entirely. Both of these teams have Yang depletion. Han puts himself onto the rooftop to make sure that he cuts off their exit outside of this building, and also gets to position Firefly Gauge directly behind him. The Tianhai is not going to be able to find a double grab, but he will be able to find one onto Gem and pushes him away. The Tumult ultimate is still going to be in the mix too, and that's going to be outlasting the Tianhai's ultimate coming on through. Gem goes for the commitment. Everyone was trapped like a snow globe inside that Tianhai V1, and that means that the Syra can start to beam them through, but ASD Smith held on to the Kylan V2 because his Monk wasn't able to find the opening that they were looking for, and he still got the dash down potential. He goes inside the building. The after image is going to be able to find the cleave cut throughs. There's a lot of damage coming on through, but enough time has been taken that another team rolls up to the mix, and suddenly JL are in prime position to third party as SS1 and ASE have to scramble to try and keep their players alive.
ASC with the Kylan ultimate, getting some value, but 2 minutes left. Everyone is piling in right now. GG showing up, but JL with the focus fire onto Miss, making quick work of him, slicing and dicing. Now GG on the outside, have to be calculated right now, up to 5 kills with the Zai. Don't want to overcommit right now. SR going to be able to pick up a kill onto Baldus, XCM, and Jing. SR up to 9 kills right now, closing the distance onto YZG. Everyone is at this cluster of buildings in the top left of the map. CGS and GG waiting, biding their time, looking for an opening, but we're down to 21 players. It's getting very, very close, Moxie. I imagine this Spirit Well is going to be one of the most contested Spirit Wells we've seen all day today. Everyone is going to line up for it. No one is going to give it up. But I feel like the smart play is to try to pick off the team that overcommits here, just because of how aggressive everyone's playing right now. You're seeing YZG, they won that Rumble rank, and this is what it means to be one of the stacked teams in the lobby. Your Takeda has gold armor, has what's it called? Gold ultimate as well. And now this Spirit Well, tough break for SR going against YZG and this super stack with Wolves waiting in the bush, lurking in the background.
Yeah, Wolves definitely going to be wanting to make a play for this a little bit later on, potentially. SS1 also with that Tianhai, but given the state that SS1 were finding themselves in, having lost a Rumble Yang, I don't believe they have the confidence nor the loot to be able to make a play for it. And we said that it might be one of the most contested. YZG might just be picking this one up for free, Raven. They just have to send a little bit more charge, and then they've got it home. And you can see that all of those players who were on the fringes of that mini-map have now disappeared. Everyone has scarpered away as everybody wants to just make sure to put enough distance between themselves and the Draco Storm buff team as they possibly can. OUG taking cover inside a building and bunkering up. We're going to have the past the tuna sandwiches coming on through to make sure that everyone has that heal tick. So not only do they have Karumi and Syra, they're also going to have a continuous heal buff that is applied to both their health, and if their health is full, the armor too, which can definitely be one of the things which will allow their players to be able to survive and win that heal off situation, which the top 4 teams, and we are down now to top 4 teams out of the 6 that walked into this lobby with a chance of taking MVP and taking the bi-weekly finals.
So many people in bushes right now. GG posturing, sees OUG right next to them. Looks like they're going to be making their way to the Spirit Well. Not going to be poking out. LXM, pretty trusting of that situation. And it looks like no one's able to claim this Spirit Well. No one wants to overcommit. It ends up going to a neutral, no Spirit Well to this second part. 21 people left alive. And wait a minute.
Yeah, TXJ is just going to pop all and claim it end zone.
Ah, very, very well played by YZG and TXJ to wait to the absolute last second. Zone pulling in, waiting to go in. Does he get grappled on the way in? Wolves finally reveals their position in the bush, trying to make their way away from this super buff team of YZG, but this is one of the targets that they would love to take. They do get a double ultimate coming out from that Spirit Well, looking to close out onto Wolves, but Wolves diving into the center of the whole pack, trying to lose the wolf pack of YZG chasing him down. Unfortunately, QGG does lose his target. He gets confused with everyone running away from him, doesn't see the main target, and now Moonbane is out, but YZG has an opportunity here to pull further ahead and to be out of reach to secure this second bi-weekly finals with Draco Storm and 12 kills.
Yeah, but that Moonbane is making those rotations last a lot longer, so Draco Storm is still going to be in play. But QGG has run out of the first iteration of that Takeda V3. He is still going to, like you said, have that double cycle coming through off of the pickup from Dracostorm, which was changed a couple of patches ago to provide 100% rage generation upon pickup like the other buffs in play. GG going to be putting themselves up onto high ground. No one very much wanting to be on the low ground, understanding that that's going to be the prime real estate that YZG rotate into. YZG still going to be chasing. However, SS1 run into another team, and YCG very much cognizant, deja vu, remembering a lot of those teams who did have Draco Storm overextended into too many teams and got immediately chewed out for it, are going to instead prioritize keeping the Draco Storm in play to retain a position on the next Spirit Well. But when the zone is small enough, these players are going to have way less room to be able to kite out, and wouldn't you believe it, Raven, it's a back-to-back Draco Storm.
I mean, YZG definitely playing this very, very optimal, and all of the teams playing extremely conservative. Everyone's opting to take this to endgame, to take this to a slugfest, to go down. No one wants to overcommit, and look how many people are next to each other. QGG setting up to last second take this. Now they have to be careful. We've seen teams sneak their way in and deny the take and send things into a spiralingly weird situation. He has the buff, not at the pure 99%. It's more like 95%. He has to be careful right now. Now, he does have TXJ guarding this tree to the right, but you see ZK coming in from the top roads, able to rotate through Wolves ZK, but he does have blue armor, doesn't really want to commit, makes his way back to his team who's in the trees, and we are going to delay again. 4 minutes left, Moxie. You can feel the tension building for everyone. The calm before the storm. OUG has 7, SR has 9. Both of these team in MVP range for striking distance, but you can't count out GG. Even though they have 5 kills, this is like a perfect position for them where they can clean up this situation. Wolves also has 5. JL also has 5. And we still have a Transformer team, SS1, on the board right now. Look at SS1 hiding over here to the side. Everyone's taking their nook and cranny. And as soon as that Draco Storm gets picked up, it's going to start going. And TXJ is going to engage, putting some pain onto OUG, the double healer team in the lobby.
Yeah, Kurumi Tower gets popped just so the Kurumi can teleport out of position, out of focus fire coming on out from that tower with the Draco Storm. And now it is every team for themselves. The cannibalization of the spaces, everyone wanting, if one team gets a little bit too close, to turn onto them, to offer the health bar up, an easier target for YZG to turn onto. But still, YZG picking that moment. They aggressed in, they stirred the pot, they forced the ultimates out from some of these teams that could have held on to them. to give a better position and stance going into that heal-off situation, and then they back off. They know that they're sitting on 13 eliminations. They don't need to overextend because they painted a target on their backs, and they will lose TXJ. CXE does drop the Tumult V1, trying to give space for the Syra to be picked up. Will be picked up before the Syra Beams can microwave through the wind wall too, and gives TXG the opportunity to pop that V1 ultimate to keep themselves up in play. And YZG now have baited the players in close. They forced the ultimates out. They finally get to stop playing conservative and get to aggress as they wanted the second they picked up that Draco Storm, going from 13 eliminations to 15 as the zone is going to push these players closer and closer to a YZG team that still has Draco Storm active for another minute. That's going to keep going until we have 40 seconds left of the zone. Merciless Havoc comes on through. QGG just sitting on the outlines with the musket, looks to steal away the kill, but it's GG that takes it instead. The Zai ultimate from GG starts to come on through. That V2 putting in the work, and GG start coming up in the kill feed too. These teams were more than happy to wait for this exact situation because of the amount of kills that they were coming into this zone with, and now it's going to be a matter of closing on up. Who can spot the low health bars? Who can get that last hit of damage to be able to confirm the elimination? Frio is going to go down. YZG pick up another. They're 3 away from a 20 bomb. They just have to make sure that TXJ is going to be able to survive and build another Syra V1, because that Syra is going to be the target of focus for so many teams in the lobby, since she has the opportunity to win the heal situation. GG not out of safety, having to pressure out Wolves, but Wolves being able to return focus with more players, as well as Wild Windspout coming on through from that fan, which closes up the space that GG had to be able to play with, and they're in danger of getting forced out of the lobby. Just sitting on this Matari left, but no, LXM is taken down. It's between OUG and YZG, but YZG with 19 eliminations surely are going to be able to pick up this MVP. It's just a matter of crossing the T's and dotting the I's. QGG gets hit into so much CC stagger. The Syra ultimate from TXJ comes into play. The stun dazzle, so many players. 8 are currently below the Syra. The stun dazzle's coming on through. The healer situation's about to run down. We've got 5 seconds remaining, but I don't think it's enough for YZG to win the heal-off situation. But with the eliminations, the MVP is clear, and YZG for a second time in a row will walk away with the MVP and the bi-weekly final title.
Oh my goodness. You see the Band-Aid just rip off TXJ's forehead, the hype.
Congratulations, our second bi-weekly final.
让我们恭喜本周的3排终结冠军，属于 YZG。